How are you? Aisha? This is everybody. Everybody, this is Aisha.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's cold. Sit here. Yeah. Right. Esther, you've met Aisha before?
No, I haven't.
TDA, no, TNB, Ed.
Yeah, but you know it's dark in there, man.
Claire.
And you know I can't see even in broad daylight.
Claire. How is she?
She's good.
Serious? She was down for coming?
No.
So how come you didn't tell me that she was down for coming?
She wouldn't have really come.
Alright, then.
Sorry. Are we waiting on anyone else?
No, we're not. Yeah. Testing, testing, testing. Can everybody hear us? If you can hear
Who's everybody?
us.
Discord.
Yeah. No, not on Discord. This is the chat on.
Oh.
Yes, we are live.
I was about to say good morning.
At the camera.
I really am a robot. Good evening. Is it Christy?
Boom. Yo.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hey,
Rachel,
girl.
everybody,
How are you?
Rachel. Come on.
Okay.
You right, babes?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, I'm good, thank you.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I ain't seen Tariq in time.
Very cool.
Tariq from the chat.
Oh, he's in the chat.
Oh, he's in the
Yeah.
chat? Wonder where
The,
he's based right now.
I know, where are you, Tariq?
Hmm.
Thanks, Stacey. So my New Year resolution is I'm going to do coloured hair. I'm going to do, when I come back from Lagos, my braids should look like this. Or braids.
Very loud.
So we'll see.
Is this not colored?
No, this is my vibe. I don't want to do black hair next year.
Okay.
Except it's my
Oh,
natural
so
hair.
So you've started as you mean to go on.
Yeah, but actually, I take that back. I might
Okay.
do black hair.
Okay.
But I just don't know what to do. I might just, yeah. But thanks, Stacey.
All right. So we are going to go around the room to let everybody know who is here. I am Brent. Hi.
I'm Esther. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I was supposed to practice. My name is Saleh.
You had one job.
Yes. I give motivation to the nation, and here I am, I guess.
Come on.
All right. So he says.
Following up after Saleh is a tough work. So I'm just Ed. I'm not as motivational as Saleh, our good brother.
Come on.
My name's Aisha. I'm a TDA community. I'm Hackney as well.
Come on.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
Bang, bang.
No, bang, bang. You're rude.
And the person who is off camera at present is.
My name is Rachel,
Let me see if it is.
and I'm from TDA
This is
community.
your microphone here.
Can you
She's
hear
an
me?
absolute babe.
You have to
I don't know why she's
pull it.
depriving you guys of her beautiful face, but she's real pretty.
Yeah?
Yeah, then speak into the microphone.
So I have to bend down like this every
Well, you
time.
could move closer. You could move closer.
She doesn't want to take any chances.
This is it. I'm seeing lights. Like, no, thank you.
All right. So your name is Rachel. What do you do, Rachel?
I'm just living life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
What do you for work, Rachel?
I don't know.
You're not even on camera,
Can you
Rachel.
imagine?
You're not on
No,
camera.
it's very fine. Thank you.
All right. Did you say that you in HR?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Like, what, for a fintech company? What else you want to know?
Ah, serious.
Do payroll, do the nice stuff, the bad stuff, sacking people, onboarding people.
How is sacking people? Like, what is
It's
that?
not nice.
What does it
It's
look like, though?
horrible. You bring them into a room. You have their manager. Their manager's doing the talk, and then you just see someone else pop up on the screen if it's on Teams. And then,
Are you the someone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like, I'm like, hi, I'm from HR. I'm here to discuss what next steps are, what they look like. This is what your final pay will be.
That's so.
You're terminated because of this. Blah blah blah. It's horrible.
What's the crazy? Without giving, obviously, breaking contracts and everything. What's the craziest thing someone had to be fired for?
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, allegedly.
It's usually Christmas party stuff.
Okay.
So then,
you get a
it's
bit
not
too
free then.
touchy-feely, or you say a bit too much. But
Okay.
you probably already had a warning already, so this is your
Okay,
final
fair.
warning.
So the other person does the other person have to be the one who reports it, or can outsiders like just
Outsiders can report
can
as
report
well.
as well? Snitches, that's crazy. Fair.
Have you made people cry before?
People must cry.
I don't make people cry. They're going to be upset because, you know, it's not nice telling someone before Christmas that they're losing their job.
Oh, you've actually fired somebody
Oh,
just
like
recently?
recently?
Just before.
Oh, that's
God
Like last
damn
week?
it. You should have told me.
wow.
Not me per
I thought
se.
in general.
Like,
That's
you know, it's like my manager's going to say, "Are you sure you're going to have the meeting?"
Oh, so.
And then it's you
Have
has
you
to
had to
go
do
in.
some this month?
That's so. Nothing like that to them people though.
But for the most part, I just hide and just do. I don't really have to do it for the most.
But when people see your face, it means
No,
you're
for the
screwed
most
over.
part, it's usually good because I'm used to the person saying, "Hey, you're getting your bonuses this year.
Okay,
Hey,
nice.
you're getting your pay early." So I usually deliver the good news. Whereas now that I'm starting to do the bad stuff, people are like,
How long have you been at the company for?
going on 3 years.
Okay, so are you close? Like, okay, the people that you fired, are you close with them,
No,
or
I wasn't close to them.
oh, so you don't know them at all?
No, I don't know.
Oh, so it can't
I
be
feel
that
like
bad.
HR
then.
can't be though. HR can't be making friends in the office and you have to fire me.
Yeah.
I have
That's so
I would say
crazy.
I have a few friends because I'm really scared that one day I'll have to like maybe sack someone I know. So I feel like I just kind of
But then what happens when HR needs to get fired? Who fires
Oh, yeah,
HR?
that's true.
the
senior HR.
chief operating officer. So
That's
like
so
basically like the HR director.
So
Yeah.
Who fires that person?
Probably
CEO.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
And then the board will vote the CEO out. Fair. Okay.
All right,
Brian, what are we doing here today?
Basically, I'm going to throw a bunch of questions into the mix. I've been emailed a few questions. I've been DM'd a few questions. So please do not blame me for the questions that are posed into the mix. And do not answer if it is that you feel that it might be too problematic for you to tackle. Rachel, you're off camera, so you
Yeah.
can just let it fly, to be honest.
He said you can be a Brent.
You could let it
You can
fly.
be a female Brent. But can you let people know what this is? What this is?
All right,
though?
so essentially, look at this. Pew, pew.
Amazing scenes.
Basically, during certain evenings going forward, if this goes well, I'm going to open up the studio to, I guess, invite members of the TDA community to come through and have discourse, basically. There might be times when we will chop something up in the morning and we didn't have long enough, or we didn't have enough diverse voices in the studio at the time. And we will put the same question to the panel in the evening.
I don't think you want to tell me that.
No.
I don't think. I don't think you want to give the power of knowing that conversation can carry on when I'm not there. Any little thing, I'll be like, oh, do you know what we'll just do in the evening?
This is
Here for
also
it.
an opportunity for anyone to contact me if they can't make the morning as a guest for whatever reason, shift work or whatever, and you want to promote something or you feel as though your expertise can benefit the community, then you can come through in the evening and share it.
That's a good idea.
Each week going forward, obviously I'll put up in a Discord when that particular evening is free for me. And then whoever wants to come through, they can. And then boom, we go from there.
Nice.
That is it.
So
All
man
right.
doesn't sleep. He's always thinking about things.
Now, the Discord is going to be a main feature of this because I know that more people would want to chime in on the conversation as than the people in the room. So please make your way to the Discord when you want to. I'll let you up on the stage and you can join the conversation. Okay, first question that was given to me is: men are more attracted to natural beauty. Do you agree or disagree? That's the first question. Let's go to the men first.
I can only speak for myself.
I would like you to speak for yourself.
I don't think anyone else wants to speak.
Yeah. I personally, I think that would be a no-brainer. But then I know guys that do prefer like unnatural beauty, I guess. But I don't understand what's wrong with them.
What does
So-
unnatural beauty look like?
Okay, because what does natural beauty also look like? Because some people think natural beauty is they're not too sure what they think is natural beauty. You see what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because guys sometimes will be like, oh, like, you know, why can't you just have your face like Kim Kardashian, for example? She barely has any makeup on. You don't know that's a no makeup look.
Yeah.
Also,
Uh-huh.
how many procedures has she had? Is that natural?
Thank you
now?
very much.
So-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I say natural beauty, I'm talking.
You with a durag.
I don't want to mess up what's going on over there. But yeah, when I'm talking about natural beauty, I mean no procedures, no BBLs, no lip fillers, all these kind of things. That like natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, what natural is. You've woken up and how you present yourself to the world
But then-
before you've painted anything and all this kind of thing. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes men think so. So I think what gets highlighted the most is like botched jobs or like things that don't like beauty procedures that don't necessarily look nice.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who have very, very subtle beauty procedures, and as a woman, you will see that and know that that's not natural. That she's had something done. But as a guy, you wouldn't know, and guys will think that is natural. I think that guys like natural in theory, but sometimes what they actually the women they go for are not that. But I think it's like it feels like almost like the moral thing to kind of say, or the thing to say to kind of to shut women down who have fake, quote unquote, fake things. But in reality, when we look at your CV of the women that you typically go for, the women you date, the women you move to, the women you're interested in, they tend to have quote unquote fake things. I don't know if men are necessarily attracted to natural women, because what is a natural woman?
A woman without any of these procedures, be it a good one or a bad one. Like the reason I said I can only speak for myself is personally, I don't like all this extracurricular stuff that people are doing to themselves. I think I don't have time for it. It's a headache for me. Like I am the sort of person, like if we're going somewhere and you say, oh wait, give me a sec, I need to do my nails. Like, what are you doing? Like really and truly, it doesn't matter. So yeah, but that's the way I see things. So, but then at the same time, I do know men like shiny things. So yeah.
Mr. Man.
Yeah. So I would say for me, I do like natural beauty. I always say that. But I don't look at it in the exact same way Saleh does. I feel like so stuff like makeup, well, depending on how much you use, like I'm sure all the ladies here have put something on in some way, shape, or form, and all of you, it always very complimentary, very toned down. Nothing's overt, enough that I can probably notice it, but nothing that's like, like trying to think of. I don't want to say any particular celebrities and taking the mick out of nobody, but just But we've seen what those look like, those who just sort of paint their faces. Crazy. But yeah, so I'm never going to be against makeup or anything like that. But I do agree in terms of like procedures and stuff. That's where I'm like completely like, nah, that's not me. Like I ain't never been one for the BBLs. I ain't never been one for the lifts and tucks and all that. And I'm just
Have you tried one though?
Are you married? Isn't he a married man?
Before he got married, though. They came about before you got married, right?
To be fair, I feel like the first time I heard about girls getting like BBLs was probably like college.
Heard about it.
Yeah, no, I never dealt with a girl with a BBL. I can say that. Hands up, hands on my heart. I got never dealt with a girl who got a BBL. But yeah, I feel like for me, procedures is where I'm not there for it. I feel like that tells me that there's, and I'm sure some ladies might disagree, but I feel like when you've got procedures, that tells me something up here isn't what I would want. Like, I just feel like your mental state isn't maybe the one for me. If you feel like you have to, chop and change everything. I like, the one thing I can definitely say about every woman I've dated is that they're very secure in themselves, physically and mentally, top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like when you're going under the knife, that tells me there's definitely both physical and mental insecurities there that probably going to take decades of healing to actually, get yourself right, not just a one little cut and then you're done. Because one little cut turns into two, turns into, you look like Katie Price. You know what I'm saying?
And you said, so you've got like, well, a problem, as in like you think that unnatural is when they've got procedures and stuff. And if they've had those procedures, then you feel like they aren't like basically confident in themselves. I would include, because I don't think there's any problem with wearing makeup. There's a time and a place for everything. But I would include women that wear like a full face of makeup to the gym as well, because I think that there's a time and a place for everything. And if you're going to the gym and you're like,
What if they come from somewhere though? Like, what if they've left work?
If you come from somewhere, then that makes sense. So, like, you didn't put on the makeup
to go to the gym, fair.
Yeah, but for girls that put on makeup to go to the gym, like, what are you even thinking about as you're going there? Because when I'm going to the gym, I'm thinking, what am I going to do in the gym? I'm exercising, I'm sweating. If you're not, like, your aim should be to sweat, because your aim should be to work hard in the gym. So if you're putting on makeup, how is that even going to work? So now you'll be thinking about the makeup on your face running whilst you're doing, like, it doesn't make sense. So you might as well just sit at home.
I think sometimes with stuff like that though, people do things to make themselves feel good. It's like if you're going to, wherever you go, you would dress in a way that makes you feel good. And people do the same thing with the gym as well. So if someone's going to the gym, even the way I will I will pack my hair up or whatever the case is, I will do it in a way that I think makes me feel pretty or makes me feel good. So that could be said for the same with the makeup. Like, they feel good. It makes them feel good. And if I'm gonna go, then do you know what I mean? Like, if that's what's gonna motivate me to go to the gym, then
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone should be thinking about their pores personally. But
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
That's what I always
The
think
amount of spots
about.
you're coming out with is going to be awful.
I feel like if you got makeup on and you're sweating, I just think it would just give me spots.
Yeah.
But
the
I don't know.
pores, okay,
Yeah. Well, people have different genes, so
Test your mic.
Testing.
you can't hear him.
They're saying that Saleh's mic is cut off. Can you all hear Saleh now? Test it again.
Hello.
Alright, thank you very much.
Swing low.
So girls, do you feel as though men prefer natural over, what did you call it? Sprinkle?
I can't remember.
I would say men like to think they prefer natural, but that's not always necessarily the case. I think, from the guys I've spoken to, whether that's dating or just friends, I feel like if it's more dating, I guess, they kind of like to show off or say, oh, my girl doesn't wear makeup, she's natural, she can go to the shop and, she'll still look pretty. But I feel like if you are to go out on a night out or just go somewhere nice, they would probably like you to make an effort, and that may include wearing makeup. Not every girl necessarily wears makeup, but, as Esther said, like, some of us will wear makeup because it might make us feel a certain way. I'm kind of like in the middle, I would say.
Rachel?
Again, I'm a bit more closer to what you think. I think that in theory, it's great. I don't think people like surprises. So when you see, I think sometimes when guys see women with what looks like a lot of makeup, their concern is, what does she actually look like without the makeup? and they just want to make sure they're attracted to the woman.
Yeah.
If you know that her base you're attracted to, then it's fine. You don't care about what makeup she wears, I think. But I think sometimes also, depending on the guy, there's obviously some sort of status that comes with certain looks as well. If you know that she's got a bust down, if you know that she's got her lashes done, her nails done, you know that she spends a certain amount of money on herself, she cares about her appearance, and maybe depending on the guy, that's the kind of woman you want. Maybe you want, you know, like guys who are so keen in their, I don't know, the information they give off, like the watches they wear, the clothes they wear, the kind of woman you have on your arm as well. Some people don't want a natural woman. So I think, you know, it depends on the guy, depends on also the girl, and depends on her natural beauty.
Yeah.
There's no real one size fits all for me, I think. But yeah, it depends on each situation.
That's very true.
Johnny Tobes in the chat said something interesting, because I feel like when we talk about like natural beauty and not natural stuff and procedures, I think we tend to think of the extremes. Even though we hear about BBLs often, it is somewhat an extreme, and there's very minimal other procedures people can do. But he said, want to hear what they have to say. Where does teeth fall in the spectrum of natural or not, from as widespread as braces to veneers? So would you guys see that as someone who's unnatural?
Veneers. Have you seen the procedure? The procedure is crazy.
Like braces as well.
Yeah. No, but the veneers one. But even braces though, it would be classed as the same. Like it's not natural. Have you heard "Crooked Smile" by J. Cole?
But that's my favorite song.
Yeah, it's his favorite song.
I love
but then
that
he
song.
went to change his as well. But
Oh, I love that song. But then don't you think though,
Hi, Tracy.
realistically though, people don't, when you think unnatural, people don't think braces though. No. Really, I mean, obviously the veneer is a jump scare, then that's different. But if it's subtle,
if it looks natural,
teeth whitening, exactly. If it looks quote unquote natural, not many people would like make people feel bad about that unnatural procedure they've done. Which is why I think with a natural and unnatural conversation, I don't know.
It's do you look natural? I think is the more prominent thing. People don't really care if you are natural or not. Do you look natural?
It's exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, but that's dangerous though.
I'm saying most people,
yeah.
I can't speak for you.
No. Yeah. But I'm just saying like the people that think that way is dangerous because this is how people like. Okay, I knew someone who was working at a there was a convention, Botox one, and like almost there were hundreds of people there, and almost everyone there was looking like a cartoon character, from The Simpsons, and they all felt like they looked normal. And this is the problem, because once you get something done and then it's like, okay, maybe it's like 80% there, but you just want to add that 20%. So then now you're doing something else and you're doing something else. And before you know it, it's something else. There's something else. And I want to say as well, me personally, I've got a belief in terms of, I would say like my beauty and all humans' beauty, but it links to health. I think the best way.
I knew you were going to work this in. I was just waiting for the time. I was waiting to see how you were going to do it.
No, but I think the best way to... okay. I think the one thing I say to myself is the best designer that you can ever wear is your skin. So if you invest in your skin, you invest in your body, then you don't need to do anything else. Because like I can wear just a plain top and I'll look fine. Whereas people... be going spending hundreds on t-shirts and still look a bit funny. So if I personally think that is what people should do. And as long as people think about everything else. They think about everything else. They think about, oh, let me go get this designer. Let me get this makeup. Let me get this, that. But they're not looking after themselves. And at the end of the day, and it's the most expensive thing that you'll ever do because it's something that people can't take away from you. Yeah, so you can buy 1,000 million Dolce & Gabbana tops, but that can all get stripped off you very quickly. But if you work on your body, work on yourself, then good.
You have the confidence within.
Oops.
Hey, girl.
Hi. Sorry, I'm so lost.
We're talking about if... so Brett's got a series of questions.
Okay.
And the first one is, do men prefer natural beauty more, or do they like natural beauty more? I can't remember the verb used.
Brent, what's the
I think it's
question?
When was
prefer.
it?
I think
No,
it's preferred.
it's
They
prefer, wasn't
prefer
it?
natural.
That's
beauty.
right. I'm moving on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what happens when you're late.
Do you
My
know
bad.
what?
You want to introduce yourself?
No.
You need the theme
No
music.
need to. I know that's right. Okay.
That says all. There we go.
That
Nice to
says
have
it all.
Nice to see you. Nice. All right, next one. I love the way I look. Do you agree or disagree?
It's I. As
It'll
in
be
me.
you.
Oh, for each person.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
I definitely do.
Okay.
Love myself.
Me next. Okay, cool. I got good days and bad days. You know, but
Okay.
yeah, for the most part, yeah, I'm happy.
All right then.
Yeah, I'm happy with where I look. Quite content.
Yeah, I don't believe any of y'all, but all right.
Wait,
You said I love the way I look. I do.
Do you think we're insecure?
Do I have bad days? Yes.
Let's go rolling first.
You called
I
us
think
liars.
the evidence is on the screen. How could you not be happy with that?
All right then. Christy.
Yeah, I like the way I look.
Okay, love.
Oh, love. Yeah, 100%.
All right then.
I'm a
and
catch.
the girl
Period.
offline.
Offline or off camera.
Off camera.
I don't know. I don't know if it's something that I think I'm quite neutral.
Come
I
on.
would say, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that I would use those words. I love the way that I look. Yeah.
Why would you say you're neutral?
Because even that question being framed to me, I was just like, oh, that's a very interesting way for me. I wouldn't have said that. Like, wake up in the morning and say, I love the way that I look. But I also won't say I hate. Actually, sometimes I do say I hate the way I look. That one for sure.
Girl.
But also, it's a question of when are we talking about? Because
I hear you.
first thing in the morning on a tough day, no.
I hear
But
you.
maybe, when I put a little bit of makeup on and I'm, going out,
Yeah.
then maybe I'll be like, yeah, I love the way I look.
Okay, I get you.
So the
In
makeup
fact-
makes a difference.
For me, 100%. Otherwise, I wouldn't wear it.
In fact, I think I would like to slightly alter my answer.
Are you copying people?
No, because I've thought about it a bit more. I think I do look. I love the way I look. Wow, that sounds very very self-centered. However, I think more than that, I'm motivated to look good. So
Okay.
it's more of a thing of every single day I do things so that I can look good.
Okay.
And then as a result of that, I look good. But
Okay.
it's not just I woke up and I just love the way I look always. Nah, that's definitely not the
I get
case.
you. I think I love the way I look because even when I have like moments of like insecurities and stuff, like I come back to always appreciate how I look.
Mm.
So ultimately, I love how I look. I don't know if that makes sense. Do
Mm.
you get what I mean? So despite little things, like insecure days and stuff I might have, when I get out of my head, I'm like, girl, stop playing. And then, I'm back.
Sometimes I question myself as well.
What
So-
do you mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes I look in the mirror because with everything, I like to always think about things from the other side or like from outside of
know.
my own shoes.
We
So
know.
sometimes I look in the
We
mirror.
know.
But yeah, sometimes I look in the mirror and I try to ask myself, like, okay, I think I'm handsome, but would everyone else really think this way? And then
I think that's a different question, though. So
That's so
do I
interesting.
like the way I
others,
look?
the others think I'm handsome. Yeah, that's a
Because
different
that's
question.
also was informing my answer.
Okay.
But I do think that's separate. Like, do I like the way I look versus do other people?
Love the way I look.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
very.
Or do I
different
love the way I
question.
look depending on how other
Okay.
people react to how I look?
Mm.
It's so funny you said that though, because sometimes I think I look fine, I look great. And then when I ask for a second opinion, they're like, you might not want to have your hair like that. I'm like, that makes it cute. It's like a little messy bun. So that's so interesting.
Yeah. No, I like to keep myself in check and just make sure that I'm not like deluded in my self love.
Okay, I'm very deluded then.
Girl, how do you know?
Why not? Why not?
Delulu is a Solulu. I am. Because I feel like in that kind of situation, how relevant is, if you like how you look, how relevant is how other people think that you look? Even if you've, like, do you get what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
It depends.
what's the significance of the
Yeah, what's the
delusion if
setting?
there is
Yeah.
delusion there?
I would say, okay, for example, if you're going to a specific award ceremony
Okay.
where everyone kind of conforms, like everyone's wearing a suit,
Okay, yeah.
blah, 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 that sort of thing. And if you wanted to wear something different, like you just need to ask yourself those questions of, okay, even if it is different, will this still be appreciated in this circle that I'm in?
Now, when we say we love the way we look, what's the looks? Because I'm thinking naturally. I'm not thinking with things that I can put on and take off, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not thinking about when I'm dressed up or when...
Yeah, that's how
I'm
I
just
was
thinking me, like
Yeah, just
my
in
face, my body, just me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Do I love the way I look? That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, I guess it can be the same though. It can be two of the, like, for example, okay, but okay, you say with the way you look, but then would you include like your hairstyle with that?
Yeah. Well, no, because I'm thinking of my face just objectively. I really like my face.
Okay, yeah. Then if we're
like, because that's how I look.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
everything
yeah.
else I do, let's think of everything else as an accessory. My hair is an accessory because it could be a wig today, sewing tomorrow, braids tomorrow, my natural hair out, the clothes I wear. They're all things that I add to how I already look.
yeah.
So I'm not thinking about how I look when I'm made up or what with makeup on, anything like that. I'm just thinking of how I look in my most natural state. But I don't know if I've just made that question unnecessarily deep. But that's just, if someone asks me, do I like the way I look? That's what I think about.
Yeah.
Like me in just me, bare face, natural. That's how I think.
If I think of it like you, then I'm like, actually, I'm gonna change my answer and say, nah, I don't always like how I look. I ain't gonna lie. Because if I'm just thinking purely when I just look in the mirror, just on a whatever, like I know. I always say, I've been always saying for like years now. The two things I'm always like, quote unquote, self-conscious about is just like my nose, because I've shock horror. You know, I'm a nice guy, but occasionally some people have decided to hit me in the face before. I don't know why. It's just crazy.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
But you know, so my nose isn't as where it was when I was younger. And then
I can say where it
then,
was.
and then also my teeth. I'm always been a bit like a bit weird
Conscious.
about my because I got some of my teeth are crooked. So I've sort of go, all right. So if I was gonna change anything, those two things sort of would be things I'd change about myself. But sort of in how I originally sort of looked at it was sort of a bit more like Saleh, where it's like, you know, just like when I'm out and about, when I'm sort of just like how that's sort of my original sort of thought process. But yeah, if I'm just thinking it how Esther's thinking about it, yeah, I'm very conscious about certain parts of my face, and not all of it, but yeah, but certain parts of my face I'm very conscious about.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right, let's move on to the next question. We are trending towards a future where natural beauty will no longer exist. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
I must be dead if you don't exist anymore.
I disagree.
I'll read
as
it
well.
again. We are trending towards a future where natural beauty will no longer exist. Do you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
I think even like historically, we've seen that. Okay, even with, okay, I'm not the best with like fashion trends and stuff, but what is it, Lonsdale or?
Oh yes,
But you know that
brand.
look. Well,
That
yeah,
sports
there's
brand.
Lonsdale, but like they've got that look of Alessi, all these brands. They used to. Do we know Alessi?
I know Lonsdale.
Alessi? Is it Alessi
Oh,
or
it's Essex.
Alessi?
Elise.
We
Oh,
say at least.
Oh,
okay.
We say at least.
Yeah, people used to say
Technically-
differently.
technically he's right.
I called it Elise all this time.
Yeah.
Elise, spell that.
Technically, he's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
used to
yeah,
call it
that
Elise.
one.
Growing up, that's how I used to say it.
Yeah, but
I've
like
never
that
said it.
used to be popular back in the day, and then now it's coming back. So I think things just go through waves and trends. So definitely, and if anything, I would say right now
What's that
we're
to do with
moving
natural
towards.
beauty?
Yeah, no. So right now, so like even if natural beauty was dying out right now,
Yeah.
I don't think it would die
think it's
completely.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you think that
And-
it comes back in trends.
Exactly,
Okay,
and
okay.
not even just that, but right now I would say that natural beauty is coming up. I think.
I think so.
I don't know about
I do
all that.
think so.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
People are getting their bums taken out. People are dissolving their
Oh,
fillers.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was
Yeah.
just thinking, even like with the hair that you have now,
Like even
within the black community, I'm seeing a lot more black women having natural hair these days,
I
as
get you.
opposed to like 5-10 years ago.
I do think that even like with even within the cosmetic surgery part. So we went through, and when I was younger, having big breasts was like the thing. Having
Come
big
on.
boobs, that was. Come on,
No, I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at
That ad lib
come on,
is crazy.
Wow.
I'm just looking. I'm wondering who said this is back in it.
All right, just
And I
wait.
saw a joint. I'm like, yeah, come on.
Sure, bro.
So yeah, okay. So I feel like with cosmetic surgery, for example, like body surgery, back then having big boobs was a thing, and then we went to now we're like in the. Then it was like big bums, and then it was like the BBL thing where not just having big bums, but you gotta have small waists and big bums. And then now we're in a place where people want to have the skinny BBL, which is basically, it looks most natural. It looks as natural as it can be. So yeah, I do think that there is kind of a shift towards, and even when I think about even like with like hair and stuff as well, obviously I can't speak for other communities, but Black community especially, we went through like a lot of people perming their hair, and then it being a thing where you didn't perm your hair and you did the whole big chop thing and the transitioning your hair and all that kind of stuff. So I do think there is a move, but I don't think there will ever be a time where being natural is being non-natural is the trend, because I feel like again, just certain things are highlighted the most, and there are so many women who don't have surgical procedures, who don't do fillers, who don't do Botox, who don't do all these things. So I don't think that's ever going to be a case where, quote unquote, everyone is, for lack of a better word, fake.
Are we basing it on the fact that we're in Western society? Because I feel like if I go back home, so if I go back to Barbados, I'll see like loads of natural beauty. Don't get me wrong, you're going to see people with makeup, weave, whatever. But I just feel like here, because we are more exposed to it, and maybe we may have more funds to do it per se, then maybe natural beauty here is not as big as it is back home.
But that's why I say that it can never wipe out, because that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about in other societies that's not ours, in other circles outside of, you know, our community. It's not like there's always going to be people who are natural beauty, who rep natural beauty, who have natural beauty, who don't do certain procedures. So it's very small-minded to think that because it's what we see just around us, that's the standard for the rest of the world. I don't believe it is. Yeah.
All right. Next question. I hope my kids are the same skin tone as me.
Be away. Take it away, sister.
What a question.
They must have known you were going to be in here.
The same skin tone as me, 100%.
Right.
Yeah. Isn't my son actually the same skin tone as me? He's actually not, to be fair.
Is he darker?
So do you not like him?
Wow.
Imagine.
Wow.
Imagine.
That's the way to
I'm
start.
not Valerie.
Imagine.
Well,
I'm not Valerie. I love my child.
we got Valerie.
All the time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Big up Valerie's son.
100%.
That'll,
Big them up.
amen.
Indeed.
She said, no big ups for Valerie.
No,
Huh?
I'm adding two.
That's
I'm
too late.
adding
It's too
two.
late.
Just
It's
adding
too
two.
late.
Just adding
Rachel, it's
two.
too late.
Adding two.
How about let's go around the room. Esther.
Yes. If I had a child, I want my children to look like me. And they find daddy.
Okay.
Amen.
You don't see colour, so I don't know.
Well.
I don't know if it's that important to you.
I think at the end of the day, if I have a child, that's my child. Full stop. I don't really care. No, but because, okay, for example, what if you were to have an albino child? Albino? Then, like, that's whose fault is that? It's a condition. It just happens. And would I like them any more or any less if that was the case? Definitely not. That's not something I'm thinking about. If it's my child, my DNA, full stop. Love them.
So no preference.
As long as it's my child.
No, but I'd love to hope that anybody who has a child would love their child, right? So but let's presume that for everyone.
As the
Do you
baseline.
as a baseline. because it's not the norm that people don't like their children, right? Just, do you have a preference though? Do you want your child to have the same skin complexion as you?
Well, I don't really see
Color.
I was patient for someone to say it. I just wanted to say it.
I don't really see the relevance of this. Like, I don't really get the relevance because, like, okay, I might prefer, like, actually no, because what is the point? It's my child.
Do you remember the other day? Who was it? I can't. Was it a phone call or something? And the person was saying, no. Was it Stacey when she was saying how when she was much younger, obviously not now, when she was much younger, she didn't want. Was it Stacey actually? Before I finish my sentence, forget.
I know. I remember.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It was definitely
and the person,
somebody.
someone said they didn't want their child.
when they were younger,
to be like dark skinned, for example, because of how they got bullied and how they were made to feel. But obviously they're older now, and they're like
your faves.
to be beautiful, blah blah blah. But so I think the question is more from a kind of self-hate angle of like, if for example you've been through things with your skin color or whatever, would you want your child to have the same skin color?
It's not Valerie, it's Veronica.
Oh, sorry, Veronica. Sorry.
Look.
Yeah, Miss Brute Force. That's not the
Tell them. Oh, because she said that. That's how you knew it was Veronica.
Okay.
Hey, girl.
Oh, she in the chat.
No, that's her soundtrack now.
Are you right? Are you right? No, it's not.
No, it's not. Thank you, Esther.
Can you imagine? You want to see me first and last episode?
My bad. Sorry, go on, Saleh. You were asked to answer it straightforward as opposed to dodging.
So yes or no?
Yes or no, do I have a preference for them to have the same skin tone as me?
The only options is agree or disagree.
disagree.
There's no other.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So disagree.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, if it's yes or no, then it will be no.
So you prefer that they didn't?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if it's yes or no, then like my thing is I just don't have a preference. Like, as long as it's my child, it's got my DNA, that's all I care about. And it's like two dark-skinned people could have a light-skinned child.
So we know we can't figure out what skin complexion our children are going to have. I just wanted to make sure you had a straight answer, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My straight answer is no.
he's off camera, so you can apply pressure.
Same to you, Ed.
I might have, however many years ago, has been like Saleh and been like no preference, but after having a child and seeing her every day and watching her grow and develop and whatnot, I'm just like, there's something about just everything, all of it, from my eyes to her nose to her skin tone, everything. I just love seeing myself and my missus,
child.
Yeah, I just like seeing that, like the aesthetic of it is just, like it just warms my heart seeing a human being who's sort of just like me, So I would tell you, I feel like I do now sit on I would prefer them to have the similar skin tone to me. Yeah, my daughter isn't exactly the same, like maybe slightly lighter than me, but yeah.
Oh, that's so wholesome.
Mine's agree. Wait, is it agree if you want them to like you?
Is it agree?
Is it agree?
I think it's agree.
I think so.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, it would be
your
agree.
preference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big thing if they were darker, a little bit lighter than me.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be fast, but if they don't like me, then maybe. Proud.
Straight. About the person off camera.
Yes, I'd love to have like little dark skinned babies. Yeah.
Lovely.
Like you spoke to, seeing yourself and your children. I think also for me, as somebody who grew up, who skin complexion and everything is very interesting for me, just experiences throughout life. I didn't know I was dark skinned when I was growing up, which is very hilarious because I'm very dark skinned. And just coming to that realization and how people treat you and treat other people based off of different complexions. I related to what Stacey said. I can't remember word for word what she said, but I kind of got the sentiment of what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to a point where I think I was a teenager and I just realized, no, people are very follow. Whatever's in trend, whatever's fashion, they follow. And that's not really what I'm about. And once I realized what I was about, I realized that I love my skin. And the problem is with other people. And it's almost like, I don't know how, problematic this is, but it's almost like I want to bestow love onto the child of my former self. Does that make sense? So the child that I was who was lacking and confused in this world with my skin complexion, it's almost, I want to make sure that if I was to have children, that they wouldn't feel that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. All right. Next one. People take me more seriously when I alter my hair. Do you agree or disagree?
Sounds like something my mum would say. No.
Disagree.
And I alter my hair.
I don't
Like
really
an
do much to
African
my hair
parent.
anyway. I don't know why they would take me more seriously or less seriously.
I agree. So I'm a natural babe, natural hair. This is the most unnatural that I would have my hair. I've got extensions in at the moment because you can't see me. But I don't normally really care for my appearance on a day-to-day basis. And I can see the difference when I make an effort and when I don't. Generally speaking, on a whole, whether it's hair, whether it's just the way you dress, I see that there's a difference. And when people see that you've put in effort, people respect you more. That's just what I've seen in life. And it's maybe unconsciously done, but if your hair is done, if your hair is not done, you'll see it more. Most people tend to take pride in their appearance, and so they might not notice. But if you can be as bummy as I can be sometimes, you will see that there's a difference. Yeah.
Sorry, Brent, put up the question again?
All right. Pay attention this time.
Ooh.
Shots.
People take me more seriously when
He's in
I
his sassy era. He's in his very sassy era right now.
People take me more seriously when I alter my hair.
I take more seriously even mean.
Have you ever altered your hair? I've always seen you like this.
Who you
I
talking
always take you seriously.
to? Who you talking to?
I always
The
take it
person-
seriously.
the person's on camera. You're on camera.
Yo, you didn't say my name, so I don't know who you're talking to.
Christy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
No, to be fair, I can't really think of a time because I don't really alter my hair that much. So
I'm going to agree. People take me more seriously when I alter my hair sometimes.
What do you do to your hair?
I forgot what was under the do-rag.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time it's just low cut. But every now and then I go bald just because. And when I go bald, I definitely think I get treated. Well, actually, no. I was thinking about this whilst I was saying it. And I think there's a slight difference. People see me as older, but people see me as older anyway. So, but they just see me probably like 2-3 years older than what they would have normally guessed. Yeah.
And they take you more seriously.
No, I don't think they take me more seriously because I think people take me seriously.
Okay.
Why?
I'm so confused.
Are you
It's like a
sure? Because
parable.
you're laughing right now.
Yeah, no, I do think people take me seriously.
So
I do.
regardless of the hair.
So you don't
yeah.
agree then?
No, but there's something different when I'm bald.
What is it?
I-
Are you like
I'm struggling. I'm struggling to put
you
my finger on it.
objectified?
Yeah, so they
Some
treat you
sort of-
different, but they don't treat you better.
Yeah,
What's the difference? You objectified when you're bald.
objectified?
Yeah. Is that the word you're trying to find?
What? Are you trying to say people are stroking my head?
No, I don't know what people do, Saleh. I'm just trying to find out.
Nah.
What's the difference in how you're treated, for example?
I guess, for example, okay, the last time I was bald, I was in Dubai, and I think for things where maybe normally I would have to ask before it's done, it was just done
Like what?
without. But you see, I'm struggling to put my finger on it.
That's interesting though.
Like,
Is respect. Do you think you're respected more than when you're bald?
I feel like when I'm bald, people expect me to speak less.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you command respect.
No, people
I
just
can't
don't
understand
expect
what
me
you're
to
saying
speak.
there. Because I would say,
Like,
I don't get it.
okay, for example,
Sorry, I don't get it.
maybe it's that I'm more approachable with hair. So when I'm bald, I'm not as approachable. So that's why people wouldn't be expecting me to speak.
Okay,
Like,
so they just do things before you even ask them to do it.
yeah, that sort of thing.
I think it's a respect thing there.
So your bald head intimidates them.
I don't know.
I think maybe I feel like he
From
gives like
their side.
I think he gives like Oga the top kind of vibes with when he's bald. Like he gives like I'm like a big man
Yeah.
vibe when he's like he commands. I feel like it's more like maybe you command respect when you're bald more than you do when you have hair.
And in fact, if anything, I would say because there was part of this question respect. What was respect in the question?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I brought that up. No.
Okay.
Professional. More professional.
Yeah, people take you more
Seriously.
seriously. To not respect, they take you more seriously when you alter you are.
I would say probably if I'm bold, it's almost the other way because they see me and they've got like a image of what I am in their head, and then they get to know me and they realize that
you're unserious.
Nah, well, it depends on where you've met me. It depends on where you've met me, but I think I'm a very serious guy, but I can be quite unserious as well. But there's a time and a place.
Fair.
All right. I have benefited from colorism. Do you agree or disagree?
I think there is benefit. I do. I think women, like non-light skinned women today, benefit more from colorism than they did back in the day. Because I think people are in a overcompensating era. I don't know if you would see that as a benefit or if that's just annoying. But I wouldn't say that I've benefited from colorism personally. But I do think in general, I think that non-light skinned women, I don't know about men, but women are definitely in an era where it's like we're flooded with like compliments, and I see that as an overcompensating. So I don't know if that's a benefit. I don't know if it's true, because I see fakeness in that as well.
Yeah, because it might be not genuine. So
It's for a lot of people it's not, because I see what you're saying, but then I see what your reality looks like, and so there's just that. So I would say no. I disagree.
Yeah, I've not benefited. I think to be fair, I wouldn't really refer to myself as I'm not dark skinned, so, but I'm not light skinned either.
Yeah.
So I've always been in that middle place. I feel like with that middle place, no one was really paying attention or making emphasis on my skin tone like that. So I kind of just went under the radar in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever benefited. Yeah, I've not benefited, I would say. So
I don't think I've benefited from colorism. No. In fact, what would you guys say my skin color is? Like, what is this?
Just brown.
Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so. Not colorism.
Yeah, no, I'm same as Christy. I've never felt like I've never been referred to as dark skin. I've never really been definitely been referred to as light skin. So this is always a thing of, I've never truly felt the effects that I can think of. Maybe something has happened that I'm not aware of, but not that I'm aware.
same.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lied.
You have?
There was a time in primary school in Ghana. There was a drink, and they were recording the advert for the drink, and but is that colorism? I don't know, but I think I was quite lighter as well when I was younger, and they picked basically all the lightest children in the class to be in that advert.
Oh yeah, you benefited. You got
So
gig
that's
off
cool,
your
yeah.
skin tone.
when I was 11 years old.
You got in.
Yeah, I'm from Ghana.
I feel like I've asked you this before.
I'm from
And
Ghana.
I'm shocked every time.
Yeah, I'm from Ghana. I'm from Uganda. I'm from Oman.
Interesting.
Come on.
You didn't even mean that when you said it. Same with raising your voice.
Aisha?
For me, probably yes. When I was younger,
How so?
I would say probably around family. So around my half siblings' family, they're from like Sierra Leone. I feel like I would always get comments like, "Oh, you're really pretty," but I would notice that like my younger siblings wouldn't get that, and they're like a lot darker than me. They're probably like they would be classified as dark skin. And I just felt like I was just given loads of compliments, but I didn't see that with my siblings. So I feel like I probably did benefit from it. I don't like the word benefit, but
You'll get me, yeah.
yeah.
Treated differently.
Yeah, I think it's just in terms of beauty. I think a lot of people just held me to a higher standard just because I'm not lighter skinned, but I guess I'm just brown, but maybe just a little bit lighter on the brown side. So yeah, I think I have.
Unfortunately. Interesting the way you phrase that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
it's not bad that you were complimented.
It
That's
is-
what I'm saying. It's just it's a shame
it's
that maybe
unfortunate
others
for my
were lacking.
siblings.
Yeah.
because they're younger than me, so obviously
Yeah.
I want to protect them.
Of course.
And I can see that I'm getting the compliments and
Yeah.
they're not.
And it puts you in
So
a very
then-
awkward place
Yeah.
as well, yeah.
I feel like I was put on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And then my younger siblings are probably, obviously, they're going to feel away because of it.
Absolutely.
They can't do anything about their skin tone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah. I haven't benefited from colorism. But I just think it's a shame sometimes the way like clearly there's guilt as you speak about it. I think the issue isn't that necessarily people who are lighter skinned are showered with compliments. It's just that it's lacking in other areas. I don't feel like it should necessarily be drawn from people who are lighter in comparison. But yeah, no, I haven't personally.
Would you like to just feel how it feels like?
No.
No?
I've never thought of that, but no. I'm going to say no.
Would you like to be light skinned for a day?
No.
No, the cameras on Esther.
Would I like to be light skinned? No.
Just to see how it is. On
Do
the
you know
other
what I would
side.
like? What I like is different. No.
As an experiment, though, that would be interesting.
Precisely a social
Yeah.
experiment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
No, I'm good, love.
But I'm
sorry.
not. It's not something that I would like to do. It's just it'd be interesting.
What would you get up to though, as a light skinned babe for a day?
I don't know why you.
Or
encourage this.
not even
Yeah.
not
Always gonna go
necessarily light skin, not necessarily light skin, but if it was flipped the other way around.
What do you mean?
Like there's some cultures where the preference is darker skin. So like if it was
noughts and
so instead of
crosses.
like benefiting from like changing yourself to being a light skinned person and then experiencing those benefits, if it was like society change.
Which cultures is that?
I think there's some tribes in Kenya. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that they do exist where there are tribes and places where they prefer darker skin.
You'll stay away from there.
Did anybody ever read the books Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman?
Oh, wait, I think they made a show.
They made a show about it.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show was
yeah.
really bad.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
didn't
couldn't
like
watch it.
But the book basically was that the world was flipped
Yeah.
the way around, and it was black people who I think colonized white people,
Yeah.
and just the whole systemic situation that we've got, but just on reverse. And I remember as a child reading it as a teen, I literally struggled to even comprehend it. Like the beautiful one is the dark skinned one. I literally would have to always go to the real world and then flip it each time because my mind is so programmed to what we have.
Sorry, the background
I'm
of
gonna
colour
read it.
you did.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
colour.
I was told that a black woman wouldn't date me because I wasn't dark skinned, and my dark skin represents masculinity and lighter skin represents femininity. Right. Who told you that?
That's definitely a definite trope for black men
Yeah.
in terms of the
Yeah.
colorism conversation.
Yeah, that's
So
always the
I'm sure that's true for. That was the light skin.
No, the background, Brent.
Background.
That was
As in the pink. I think it's to change that.
Yes.
Sorry, Christy.
Oh, that's bolder now.
Not for Esther.
No, I can hear it. The colours sometimes blend a bit, yeah.
Yeah, the colour's just not, you know.
I know your eyes aren't amazing, so yeah, I can see how that would get.
You know what I mean? It just looks like, doesn't even know, stained something.
Sorry,
Sorry, Christy.
Christy.
What was I saying? Yeah,
The colorism trope.
that's a very real thing, that trope for in terms of the black men. If you was on the lighter skin tone, you get, I mean, i.e. like Drake.
I was just about
if you
to
get
say his name.
associated with his skin tone, they'll be like, oh, he's.
But isn't that because
emotional.
of Drake though?
No.
Yeah, no, he
No.
definitely plays a part.
Yeah,
no, he definitely plays a part.
No, he's added to
No,
it.
he's added to it, but
But yeah.
underlining, that's where it kind of stems from.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like, oh, they're like quote unquote soft,
Yeah.
quote unquote. For me, when I was in college, like they were kind of called the pretty boys.
Yeah.
And
Sweet
it's so
boys,
funny to me
sweet
them
boys,
referring
pretty
to them
boys,
as
yeah.
pretty boys because some of them weren't even pretty. So, but they got labelled that
That's
just
JJ
by
Fish.
proxy that they were light skinned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think that gets put upon them kind of thing. So yeah, it wasn't manly or yeah. So I get that. It's a flip side, I guess, on the men's side than it is for the women.
All right, then. Next question. I don't feel comfortable being labeled by my skin tone. Do you agree?
Should I start?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable being labelled by my skin tone. I think this question it depends on how you look at it, because at the end of the day, we all have a skin tone. Like in this room right now, we're all black. If someone was to walk in and say, "Oh, I saw like 5 white people in the room," like as in, if you're describing somebody, you have to use a label. So I would say, fundamentally, looking at that sentence, no, I don't think I feel uncomfortable, because that is the truth. What, as long as they're being
When you
honest.
say, when you
Yeah,
say
but
skin tone, as you just is it generally just being black or skin tone as in specific my actual skin tone?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know. Let's ask Brent.
It could be skin tone. I don't know if it's black.
Because obviously I wasn't thinking about being labelled black.
Yeah.
I was more thinking about my actual
Being
skin
tone.
labelled-
Yeah,
his skin
being
tone, like,
labelled
Okay,
dark
so
light
skin tone
i.e.
within.
hey, lighty or browning or
caramel
whatever,
or whatever,
yeah,
chocolate,
whatever.
whatever,
Yeah.
Okay, then if it's that, then I will change my answer and I'll say yeah, because once again, I don't think that's relevant at all. Unless, for example, there was like a lineup in prison or whatever, and you're trying to, but because at the end of the day, the only reason I would see you would label someone because of their skin color is to point them out from a crowd. So if in that sense, then no, I don't see a problem in that. But once it strays away from that, and now you're looking, as in describing them, I don't know, like for insulting purposes or whatnot, then that's a completely different thing. But at the end of the day, though, that is a subsection within the first one of, I was, because someone could say, I was pointing them out. So yeah, I think fundamentally, no, I think so.
I have a question, Christy. If somebody was to call you dark skinned, because you know how you spoke about how you're not dark skinned, you're brown.
Yeah.
For me, complexion is really interesting because I don't know why. I don't seem to be on the same page as many people, because I would have thought you were dark skinned, right? If somebody called you dark skinned or labeled you dark skinned, how would you feel?
I wouldn't readily be like, oh no, I'm not dark skinned, but I would be like, I guess because generally I don't get called that. Like I've generally that's never been a label associated with my skin tone.
Yeah.
So I would find it odd
Mm.
because I'd be like, am I really dark skinned though? That's what I would probably say, to be fair. So I'll
Yeah.
probably be like, okay, I
Like
don't
they're
view
wrong.
I wouldn't view myself as dark skinned. So I'll find it weird that they would. But again, that's based off my whole life. Like that's never been a descriptor. It's never. I guess maybe in terms of it's weird. See, this is the thing. Obviously, because we as black people come in such an array of complexion. It's hard because maybe if I was standing next to, I don't like maybe you, for instance, or maybe someone lighter who can. I don't know who to use an example.
Bugs.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
There you go,
Perfect. Perfect. Yes. If I'm now standing next to
Yeah.
Margs, I can see why someone would be like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, but you're dark skinned though,"
Yeah.
because in comparison to Margs, that would
Yeah.
that would look that way. I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends who I'm around. So if I was around a bunch of Margs and I'm the only person in there, I feel like immediately a person will call me dark skinned.
Okay.
But yeah.
What about if someone called you white?
Saleh.
There's something wrong with that person.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
I don't
But
even know
would that
how
make
to- I don't
you
even know
feel?
how to answer this.
Would
I
that
don't know
make you
how to
feel
answer this.
angry?
If they call me white,
Dumb.
why would they
it's not
call me
true.
white though? Because it's not true.
Would
even
no?
right.
Yeah, no, it's not true. But someone it's just happened at bus stop. Oh, you're white.
But that how?
Yeah, no. But they've said it now. Would that make you feel angry, or is it not like you're just gonna disregard it?
I would think they're mad.
Okay.
I would think they're mental.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because clearly I'm not.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
How about you, Aisha?
I actually forgot the question.
Okay, pay
Sorry.
attention this time. Nope, that's the wrong one.
Would you be offended if someone it.
I don't feel comfortable being labeled
That's
by
the
my
word.
skin tone.
I don't know what someone would label me as. If they called me like a brownie or whatever it is, I would think like, why are you saying that? Just if you want to get my attention, just get it. If you're just calling me like a black person, then I wouldn't have any issue. I guess I kind of have a similar stance to Saleh for once. Yeah, like if you're trying to pick me out, and then you have to describe me like by my skin tone. Okay, cool. But yeah, if someone's say brown, and I do kind of look at them sideways. Don't really need to call me out on my skin tone.
Yeah, just I guess I've,
Like
I've
just find
never.
another
I've-
way to
that's-
get my attention.
Yeah, a skin tone has never been a descriptor for me. So
Yeah, not since I was a kid. I won't pretend that when I was a kid, definitely I'm not gonna say I've never said browning or lighty or nothing. When I was a kid, 100% I did. But as an adult, no, I just don't. I don't see the point that we're all black. Like, it's literally just that we're all black. Like I don't need to separate us. First, I don't feel comfortable separating us for some reason.
Can you remember at what age you stopped using the word lighty?
Probably like, I'm guessing maybe like my late teens, early 20s. Probably that sort of period in time. Just I think it's the level of just maturity and just figuring out like like it's just not. It's not something I felt. Yeah, I just no longer felt comfortable moving like that. Like being like at the end of the day, like especially because I know it's not like I'm somebody who has a preference. I'm not like, oh hey, like I only date light skin girls, I only date dancers. Like it's just like saying it just felt like I'm just like separating, like it's almost like almost like fetishizing it to an extent as well. Where it's just like there's more to you than just the shade. You know what I mean? Than what your shade is. Like I can like Aisha, like Aisha was saying, where I can get your attention another way. You know what I mean? Like, I can
Wait.
I was just gonna say because like as a kid, being like a browning or a light or whatever, that's in my head as a kid that was a compliment. But it's like but like now I'm just like I look at it just like no, like why am I? That's not something to. That's not to say skin complexion isn't complimentary, but I'm just saying in terms of like. It's not something that I should be like pointing out to be like like almost like separating you from something else. So like if I saw two beautiful women, if I see these two ladies here, I'm not gonna go hey lighty or hey brown. It's like no, it's just like no, I'm just gonna be like hey, have a conversation with you both. Like I don't care what your actual complexion is. If I just want to have a conversation, I want to have a conversation with you.
yeah, I feel like people. I feel like it gets used in a way to like. I guess from like the opposite sex. Like they might think that's a cute way to. Yeah, like,
It's literally that. It's literally just trying to say like
I've got a quick question,
Yeah.
and I just want us to touch on this and then just keep moving forward. So you said you feel like calling, like moving to a girl, like or a light skinned girl because she's light skinned. Would you see that as colorist?
if I'm specifically like ignoring a dark skinned girl or any other shade of woman, just only go for light skin, yeah, I'd say that.
Oh, okay.
If I'm like but only in that case, no, if it just happens to be I just you know, I've met a light skinned girl and I just want to talk to that light
Yeah,
skin.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but
No,
if I'm,
but if you say, oh, like I'm only dating
yeah,
light skinned girls,
Yeah.
that's colorist.
yeah, to
Okay.
me that's
And then what about this though? If someone said, I'm only dating black people, is that racist?
again, like I think it's just a matter of if I'm saying like, you know,
How
I
did we
only
get
date.
here?
No, just a quick question.
Gender.
Just a quick, you know, we'll get back to the topic.
Trying to
don't
get
worry.
me. He's trying to get
No,
me.
no,
I'm
just
joking. No.
inquiring.
No, I just think for me it's a thing of like I am one of those I only date black women, but I'm one of those just like I'll never say to anybody else don't date whoever you want to date. Like I'm like do you if you want to date whoever you want to date. But
So
I prefer dating black women. I've always preferred dating black women. That's how I'm always gonna move. So if it's deemed racist, I've always preferred it. That is what it is. You know,
Okay.
I'm not anti. I've never. It's not like I see you know any other women and go nah never like it's done, like done nah could never be me.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's just like I've just always preferred black women.
Do you believe him, Christy?
Believe Ed?
That's what I said.
Oh yeah, no, I believe him.
Good.
I passed the
I mean, if
test.
Saleh said this, obviously, then it would be a different story. But
All right. Thank you very much. Next question. Change of topic. Was there a time when your parents were your heroes? And if that has changed, when did it change?
That's deep.
I would say no for me. Not in a horrible way, but I've always kind of always
You're
seen
not
my
here,
mum
it's
as my best friend.
So again?
I've always seen my mum as like one of my best friends. So rather than see her as a hero, I've always just seen her as just an older woman who can give me wisdom and I can have jokes with.
Sounds like a hero to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say sort of like a
So like what?
like a mentor. Sort of
Sounds like a hero to me.
Like a what?
A hero to me.
Oh, yeah. I feel
So
like
what, a best
someone
friend's a
you look
hero
up to.
then?
Yeah, someone
can
you look
rely
up
on
to.
them.
I think
that's a hero. Yeah.
maybe as you've gone older and you see her as a best friend, but when you were younger, I feel like when we're younger, like you, not everybody obviously, but you kind of idolize your parents because they're your example of things and they're just the best things since sliced bread. So like hero in that sense, in the way that people think about when it's like when you're a kid, your parent is your hero. Do you know what I mean? When I say hero in that sense of when you're a kid.
Okay, if I think of my dad, then probably
Yeah.
like when he used to like drive us around and stuff.
So not your mum.
But I just saw my mum as like.
Don't let me talk to you. That's
There was no offense taken there. And maybe it was a bit different for me because my mum and my dad split when I was young, so I lived with my mum, and then I would see my dad on weekends. So I feel like maybe because I didn't spend as much time with my dad, I may have perceived him as more of a hero in the limited time I was with him.
I didn't have that. I feel like, well, no, actually, not like. I feel like when I was really little, just naturally, I think I do. Just obviously as a boy, you just look up to. My dad is, you know, a grown man, so I'm like, yeah, obviously, I look up to him to an extent. But I feel like very quickly, I won't go into too much detail. But very quickly,
That
you
got
know,
dispelled.
it got dispelled very quickly, like in terms of just things he was doing and the way he was treating people and whatnot. And you're just like, all right, very quickly, I was like, you know, like as much as I still to a level, you know, would take to, you know, hear what he has to say and take his wisdom to an extent. But even then, probably by the time I hit teenager years, it was sort of like even that had sort of gone. Whereas like I was sort of just like, see, you're very much struggling with life and navigating this life as I am, if not worse. So I sort of, yeah, I think very briefly had him as like a hero, but nah, not really. And even my mum, I don't know if hero is the word with my mum. I feel like always have had respect for everything she does, but I've never I've never looked at it like she is, you know, like, yeah, I've never, yeah, I don't know, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's weird. I feel like I respect her and I love her, but I've never looked at her in that way of like, that sort of thing. I think like, again, because of the childhood I had, sort of a lot of glasses got shattered very young. So sort of like I've always, if anything, I love the fact that I can sort of see the humanity in my mum, as opposed to having her on that pedestal that she's some saint. Like it's always a thing of like it's almost helped me sort of seeing her at almost a similar level. quote unquote, you know, like as opposed to her being above me, her sort of being up there. Like it's always felt like me and her have always sort of been able to understand each other based off that, I think.
Thanks for sharing that. How about you, Sally?
So my parents are human as well, but my parents, I definitely do believe that my parents are heroes, superhuman. Both of them. My parents split up when I was quite young, and I grew up with my mum. But both of my parents, like, honestly, one thing that motivates me a lot of the time, like if I'm feeling down or if I need motivation, just thinking about the fact that my parents are my parents and I'm their son, that motivates me a hell of a lot. And I definitely, the answer is yes for me.
What in particular? Because I don't know, I'm just hearing that generic, yeah, they motivate me, but they split when I was younger. What characteristics in each of them motivate you?
My dad has achieved a lot in his time, and everyone's human. I do understand my parents are human. That's one thing I fully understand.
Did you understand it when it is that they separated?
I guess so. Like, my parents split up, and
Roughly, how
personally,
old were you when they split up?
probably around 3.
Oh, so you were very young.
Yeah, so like growing up, that's always been my
Yeah.
life. Like it's been the norm, and my dad's always been there. I would definitely say, as I grew older, my dad, I understood my dad a lot more, a hell of a lot more, and that has even made me see him in a better light. Because like he's made his mistakes, blah blah blah. But as a father, he's been a fantastic man. And my mum, ridiculous. For example, growing up, I played the piano from like the age of 5. My mum, she was like me and my sister. She was raising us by herself. She would sit with us every single day for an hour at the piano, pointing at the notes, making us practice the music, while I was also cooking, while I was also helping my sister do her homework. Wow, superhuman. And going to the gym and doing this and yeah. Fantastic.
Where was Pops then?
Huh?
What?
It was working. It was at work. And not even just, like I said, I understand that like no one is perfect. No one is perfect. My dad is not perfect. My mum's not perfect. But I do definitely think that they're superhuman and they're heroes. My dad, he's always been a great father to me. And with all the things that he's achieved in his life, I would be so blessed. In fact, I'm going to be so blessed when I surpass him. But yeah, definitely a massive motivation in my life.
Christy.
I don't know that I've viewed my parents as heroes in that sense. I guess when I was younger, I've admired them, and I've seen when I was younger, like what they was able to achieve being immigrants in this country and stuff, and I kind of admired that. But I don't know, I saw it as a hero thing. It was just more just admiration, just general admiration that you have for your parents. I don't know if it was, I would call it a hero worshipper, like, oh my God, I've seen my mum and dad as heroes. It's just more admiration, I guess. It's just being my parents and just the respect there. I mean, I wouldn't view them as heroes in my big age now, just because life has happened and I've seen just stuff. So yeah, I just see them as humans now. So yeah.
Nice. Isha.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know you can get like
Didn't I
mistaken.
speak
'cause-
already? Or did you want me to add?
No, no. She did the right thing because she knows you've spoken before. But
Because she's not on camera.
yeah, it's the closest person
okay,
to her. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So when I think of the word hero, it's difficult for me to think of something realistic because obviously, you know, I'm thinking superheroes, you know, powers, blah, 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 blah. But when I think of like characteristics, maybe that closest could be, I think of wisdom and protection, problem solving. And to be honest, when I think of those qualities, I do think of my dad. generally speaking, even if my friends had issues, even from being teenagers, growing up into early adulthood, I would speak to my dad about issues that my friends are having. And if it was that deep, my dad would bring them over. We would discuss it, and I'll bring it to my friends. Like my dad, I spoke to my dad. Da, 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 he's saying this.
Not you snitching
People would
to your
come,
dad.
What?
Not you snitching to your dad about your friend's
100%.
business.
No, but I'm talking about serious life stuff. But I'm talking about serious life stuff. So it's stuff like when they're having issues maybe with their parents and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing, and they're literally looking for solutions. And yeah, I've had people come to my house. I've had even people who will come speak to my dad. I feel like my dad would adopt my friends somewhat. And yeah, I think he's really wise, and I see him as a protector. Like my dad would ride for me. So I think the closest thing to a hero, yes, I have seen my dad like that. With my mum, it's different. There's a respect there, and I feel like as a woman, as I've grown older and I've just deeped how she's lived her life, all the things that she's done, all the sacrifices, the respect and revere for my mum has grown as I've grown. Yeah, and just in the decisions she makes and the stuff that she does, yeah, I have big respect for my mum. I don't know whether I see it like a hero status with my mum, but I see her as somebody who I am inspired to be like. Yeah.
Lovely, nice. Thank you very much, everybody, for sharing that vulnerability. If you can change two things about your parents that you felt would have benefited you growing up, what would they be?
Just two, yeah?
Just two.
I'll go first. I needed my mum to be louder about me. I needed her to be louder. I needed to be more. I felt like it was quite like protection. I felt I needed her to be a bit more aggressive. I feel like, it was too calm. It was too cool, too collected. I think I needed a louder, stronger protection presence from my mum. Yeah, and I feel like I needed my dad to also, as much as he's wise, I feel like he was too protective, like just let me make some mistakes a little bit. Let me learn for myself. Guided experience. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I'll go. For my mum, I'd say just the way she talks to me sometimes. I feel like the talking down. Like, I don't think it's intentional, but I think there was a lot of always, like, as the saying goes, mother knows best kind of thing. Just like, like not letting me sort of have my own mind, or not thinking I had my own mind, that I could make my own decisions at times. I feel like sometimes it's sort of like I needed the back and forth, as opposed to like, this is what needs to be done, that's it. Like, so I needed more of a back and forth. And then with my dad, I think I just needed him to. I feel like I needed him to. I'm saying, I feel like, even to say that out loud in my head is like, I could never be him. But just like, but just in terms of just like, I needed him to be, I guess, more quote unquote nurturing, in the sense of like, sort of the times when I'd reach out to him outside of just like, I need some money or whatever. Just like when I actually needed, the amount of times I've reached out to him and I knew I was like, sort of not blatantly, but sort of subtly be sort of like reaching out for help, and sort of him not taking time to sort of see those signs and sort of taking heed of that and being able to sort of help, metaphorically take my hand, as it were, and sort of guide me through, because as much as, like, I love my mum and she did everything she could, but, there's certain things where you needed a man to guide you through it as a young man. It's like, there's just certain things that she couldn't do. And there's certain times where I felt like I would try and reach out to him in certain ways subtly, but he just sort of was like straight over his head, and it just wasn't for him there. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I think my parents. Okay, with my dad now, I would say most probably spending more time with him growing up. That would have been nicer. I feel like we don't spend as much time together now because growing up it's just never really happened. So yeah, and then with my mum, it's hard to think about with my mum because there are definitely things that I would like to change, but then at the same time, like okay, for example, one thing I was thinking of is like my mum. She likes to be in people's business a lot. Like she's very, she can be a lot at times. However, at the same time, I don't think I would want to change that because then I would be dealing with a different person. So
Just to remind you, it was whilst you were growing up. If you were to change anything that would have benefited you.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be like a whole personality trait. It could just be an incident. Okay.
Okay.
oh, what a specific incident
Yeah,
it could be.
It could even
Just-
just be a moment. Yeah, it could
yeah.
just be moments that have changed. Yeah.
Oh.
So just to read the question again, if you could change two things about your parents that you felt would have benefited you growing up, what would they be?
Can I answer?
Yeah.
I think growing up, I would have preferred they were less strict. For me, I feel like that played a big part in my growing up, where I feel like it was strict. It was like over strict. I would say not even strict, over strict. It was to the extreme. So I feel like because I can remember when I was younger, because they've all, not always, but they were very early business owners when I was younger.
Okay.
So timing was non-existent, being a business owner back then. And so they left me alone a lot.
Okay.
So it was so funny because they left me alone a lot when I was younger. Me personally, I've told them this. Anyway. I've said this. We've joked about it. I've called it child abuse. Personally, child neglect. It was definitely child neglect.
Yeah.
Because they should never have been leaving me that young. But I felt like again, it was the times, whatever, they had to do what they had to do. And I felt like for the fact that they could leave me alone that young, but then still be over strict as I got older, it was kind of like a bit of a...
It's ironic.
Yeah, it's very ironic.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? You could leave me when I was younger. But so I kind of feel like if they were less overly strict, it would have fostered a more open line of communication.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like obviously communication is there, but I feel like it would be so much better if it was done the less strict. There was more of obviously, I'm sure a lot of Nigerians who had Nigerian parents could relate, to be honest. That whole story of just being overly, especially because I'm the firstborn daughter.
Girl.
So that struggle
You gotta say nothing
worst,
else.
the worst. So I felt like they would just do certain things where it's just like, you've seen me grow up, you've seen the kind of child I am, assess me in that way, and act accordingly. You don't need to overly police me. Like, if you're that, you should be fine in what you've raised and don't like overdo it. So I feel like that was, if I could change that 100%, that just being less strict and that whole, I guess, ruling with fear and disciplinarian kind of thing.
Did you say that your parents started off as less strict purely because they were at work most of the time, and then they started being stricter later on?
No,
in your
I guess
life?
I use that as a point of thingy that basically I was just a child. So realistically, if I'm a child, that's where obviously they should be policing what I'm doing. But yet they was leaving me at home very young. I get it, over circumstances.
So you
but
can trust me then. But
but
then,
exactly. But you now go, when I'm getting older and stuff, it was overly.
So at what age would you say that changed? Or age period?
To be honest, it went maybe like was young. I'm from young, to be honest. Like, from like, I noticed the strictness from early. So, like, I'll probably say like even like 8, 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that just gives you
Fairly
context.
young.
Context how young I was when I was left at home.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I won't mention, but
Wow.
Oh my God.
There's statute of limitations.
Auntie and Uncle Mike, they're damn busy. And then Monday, Christmas Eve. I would say that mine, I wish like I wasn't, not I wish, but I think it would have benefited me not to be raised with so much traditional influence in terms of like traditional influence, like being very male centered. I feel like even being the first daughter, a lot of it, of playing mum and all that stuff, it's all male centered. So yeah, I feel like I would have benefited from not being raised, but then I turned out how I turned out, so I'm glad I did. But I think that is something that would have benefited me. Just not being, thankfully I'm not that way, but I just think there would have been benefits of not being raised with so much influence of what culture expects from a woman and stuff like that. Like, spare me. So yeah.
Just thought of one. Languages. My parents didn't teach me languages.
Oh yeah.
I've got a serious bone to pick with them for that.
yeah, that too actually.
Yeah, I would have
That very true.
I can add as well. I feel like sort of playing off a bit of what Esther said there, sort of making me feel like I had to be an adult from really young. Like, obviously, similar to you guys, I'm the oldest son, and I've got an autistic sister as well. So to my mom, so it was like I was always sort of from like 5, 6 was like, your job is being the man in the house, and your job is making sure you're on the straight and narrow path to make sure you can look after your sister and this that, and the other. And it was always sort of everything always in the back of my mind was ingrained that it's like, my responsibilities, of being the man in the house and stuff. And it was just always like, you sort of look back now and just like, there's so many times I just feel like it's just, especially now obviously having a kid, it's just so important to let your kid feel like a kid.
Honestly,
Yeah, because that
100%.
sounds like a burden.
It is.
It
It is.
Yeah.
Like, I always say that one of the things, if I ever have children, that's what I look forward to the most. Is just like having my kids just be kids. And they should just live their life, just be kids. And just live in that innocence for as long as
There's too much
they
pressure.
can. It is necessary.
100%.
It's too much.
100%.
But then, do you feel like your life now would be better if they didn't raise you in the way that they did?
I don't know. I just feel like there's certain things where, like, because my missus, she was very much, not, I won't say she's like free spirit. Her parents were strict at times, but she was very much, like, it was very much, she's the master of her own life, as it were, sort of thing. So, like, like when I hear certain things she says and the way she sort of, how she maneuvers through life, I'm like, I wish I felt that level of freedom, and I felt that level of, like I've always, everything I do, everything in the back of my mind is always, yeah, but I've got to make sure I can do this, and I've got to make sure that this person's this, and I've got to make sure this, that. Like that's always got to be my mentality. Like, I can never just go into something without thinking how it's going to affect everybody else. Whereas she feels like, whereas I know with her, I could, she's obviously with a child, obviously she does, but with pre-child, you could see very much her thoughts were just, how does it affect me? How's it affect me? That's it. Like, that's always my focus is me, and that's what I got to do.
But then
I do like that idea of that freedom of that. I do, just I'd love to know what that feels like, to not have to ever feel like that. To never feel like,
I get what you're saying, but then, like, now, but because now you've got a child, right?
Yeah.
So, like, can you not see why they raised you that way?
No, I understand why they've raised. I don't understand it. Like, so it's not like I'm saying like I don't get it. Like, I understand the logic. Like, in the, especially when, like I said, in the case of where obviously there's an autistic sibling in there, I can understand. Like, you do feel like you have to obviously make sure, your kids are aware and more understanding and more, focused on, thinking about how what they can do can just affect that person, let alone the family as a whole. But I think it's. So it's not to say I don't get the logic of it, but I just do sit there and just feel like I said, it's like it's almost like a level of just jealousy of just that, of just like just like just like a,
would have been nice
like
to
a date,
live like
just
that.
have the option of being able to feel like I could, feel like I could be like, yeah, like you can just still do how you guy, just go in the path you want to go, and just by all means, once you get to where you get to, now think about the other stuff that you have to deal with. Like it would be nice to just at least have had a day of that, as opposed to 30 odd years of this way of thinking.
I think there's something to be said about where that whole question, I've seen it pop up quite a few times, where were you raised on love or survival? And then the way the children end up when they're older, how they perceive that either your parents raised you out of survival or they raised you just out of love. And how different people turn out in that way.
Interesting.
All righty. Next question. It's important for women to become mothers. Do you agree or disagree?
Disagree, man. The man probably sent that in.
Yeah, definitely.
Hard to disagree.
The focus on Saleh is
Okay.
nasty work. Nasty work.
And you're sitting next to me as well. Go on.
I don't think it's important for any. Okay, as a whole, for women, if we're talking like men and women, the population that we have on this planet.
The question says women.
Well, yeah, no. As in, if we want to have more children, then yes, it would be important for women to have children. However, individually, I don't think like a woman can do whatever she wants. If she doesn't want to have a child, have a child. And in fact, if a woman doesn't want to have a child, I would say it's more important for her to not have a child, because don't give a child to someone who doesn't want to have a child. Yeah.
Right.
All right, resounding agree.
Yeah.
Or disagree, right?
No, just with his point.
I agree with his point. Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Next question. Men should go to therapy. Do you agree or disagree?
Agree.
Wow. Women talk again.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I've definitely done therapy. It's not
So you're biased.
yeah, no.
What do you always say? What do you always say? That you are?
Biased?
Is it biased?
Yeah, I'm compromised.
no,
Compromise.
it's compromise.
Yes,
Yes, it's
it's biased. Why do you think it's important, Ed?
For me, I felt like it's sort of giving me tools to sort of, figure out how to sort of cope with certain things, like just, like how to process certain things. Like I always, naturally was always just like about most guys, quote unquote, where it's just like, you just do the whole something's wrong, you just sort of bottle up and just like, all right, cool, you just move on, whatever. But it's sort of, as I've grown up, I've sort of seen how that manifests itself in other ways. So sort of just giving me the tools to sort of be able to pick up on when things are going sort of wrong or starting to feel off, and just sort of be able to pick up on that and be able to, all right, I can see what's happening here. Let me sort of, reset myself, sort of, figure out these issues, be able to push forward, I would hate to think what I would have been like if I'd never touched therapy. So definitely thankful for that.
You still go?
I haven't gone for the last couple of years, but there was a time where I was going a good every week, for a good couple of years. But,
what was the trigger? And did you stop getting punched after going therapy?
Oh no, yeah, I haven't been punched for a good 10 years.
Fair.
But no, it's the trigger was my missus, sort of putting the mirror up to me kind of thing. It was just the thing of, she certain things I was doing and she was just like, she can't take it anymore. And it's like, there's clearly something wrong. You need to do something about this. And it's just like, otherwise it's just, this can't work. And I sort of still tried to sort of push it aside and fob it off. But, sort of, after a few sort of sessions, I sort of, and, sort of trying to be the whole, pretend that everything was fine in the session, sort of eventually sort of cracked, and sort of, what I knew, like I said, just every week just piling on with new stuff and just realizing all these different things that I hadn't dealt with, I'd never dealt with, I just compartmentalized in my head and just always pushed aside and never dealt with it whatsoever. So I think that was the trigger was just her sort of being like, no, there's too much wrong here. You need to do something.
I have a question to that
Yeah.
because I feel like that's something that you hear often, like as a last resort, therapy is a thing, like relationships, whatever. So like this is the last chance,
Yeah.
and it's almost as if like when you're watching the movies, guys will say, "Oh, I'll go to therapy," and then it buys them time, and they don't really go. So I'm curious, like as in for you, like what? Yes, it was your woman that was like the first trigger to get you to go there, holding up the mirror. Or what actually made you decide that I'm actually going to follow through?
Follow through. I feel like just consciously, I just felt like not just her, but just like in general, I felt like maybe my life was gonna slowly go backwards, and so I could feel it, like I could feel
Expiring.
things. Yeah, I could feel like everything I'd worked so hard to sort of get away from, all the dumb stuff I'd been doing as a kid. Like I felt like I was just slowly reverting
crash
back.
out.
And just like, and I just was like, all right, screw it. Like, the worst that happens is, that nothing happens, and it just ends up being the same thing. So it's just like, all right, screw it, let's just go for it, and just, and like I said, I still was a bit shut off those first handful of sessions. I was definitely still shut off from that. I don't want to talk. But
Did you like your therapist?
yeah, I think, yeah, I did, yeah.
Did you have a man or woman, actually?
The first one I had was a woman.
Mm.
Yeah, I liked her. She was very,
Was she a black woman?
no, both of them were white.
Oh,
Both
wow.
rappers were white.
How long were you with each as
The woman, I feel like it was like a couple months.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe like 3-4 months, maybe. And the guy, like, just over a year.
well? Why did you change?
It was just I'd moved. So I was just like, yeah.
Mm.
Find it easier listening to a white woman.
Over the white man. Yeah, I'll say that she was.
Because he respects women.
Yeah, he was. She was. No, to be fair, she's easier to talk to, but I feel like the guy was better at sort of giving me the actual like things I needed to like
Do.
the actual tools itself. Like, yeah. So I feel like I for both, it worked for both sides. So yeah. So in terms of just, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to have just opened up to that guy if I had started, my first session with him just with that guy. I don't think I would have been able to have opened up and been in a place where I'd be able to like do that. So yeah, I needed that however many months with talking with her to sort of be able to make me actually be able to just talk in general.
So the issues that you had to kind of tackle through weren't black culture specific.
I don't know. Well, I guess you would say some. It's because obviously just like certain stuff with our parents, I feel like it's very, very black specific and certain things. So and sort of how so there's a lot of stuff sort of processing my relationship with my parents. I feel like we have, I feel like black people, we very much have complex, especially African. We have very complex relationships with our parents, to say the least. But yeah,
but it wasn't essential for her to understand where you came from in order to basically help you or guide you.
No, I don't know actually, because obviously I never experienced somebody who did have that. I don't know. Like I don't know how much it would have benefited me to have someone who understands that a bit better or not. Like it might have not. And so I'm not.
That was paramount for me, boy.
Yeah.
I feel like with therapy, it always depends on what it is that you want to talk about. Like I've got black friends who have white therapists, and it works out. I think it depends. I feel like with therapy, like obviously the qualification they have would be able to help people in general. But I guess if it depends, if it's like cultural things and you just want the person to be able to relate to what it is that you're talking about, then that's where like I guess the race and even like your religion and stuff can play a part in that as well.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important for men. I don't think that men get the chance to be vulnerable and just be vulnerable and just to talk about things that actually affect them, that rightfully affects them. Because of the whole narrative of like, be a man and being the man of the house and all that. Like I'm against those narratives. I think it does more harm than good personally. So I feel like therapy is a good way if you don't have people in your life. I would say women, because I think guys find it difficult to, obviously not all men, but find it difficult to have deep conversations with other men. So it's more likely, again, obviously generalizing, but for you to be a woman that can get so much, like get you to that place where you're able to be as vulnerable as you can be without feeling judgment. Obviously, people have the thing with, if they're romantic partner, they feel like they're going to get judged, blah, blah, blah. But that aside, a female friend. So I feel like therapy is a good way to kind of get that started. And then
Yeah, I agree.
the more relationships you have, you realize how that's a requirement. You shouldn't be with somebody who you can't be vulnerable with, who you can't open up to, who will judge you for having perfectly normal emotions. So I definitely think it's great for men to do that.
Black men, are you apprehensive looking to open up to a black woman? Be vulnerable with a black woman in the manner in which Esther suggested would be easier?
I don't see why.
No, sorry, Ed.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, yeah.
Look at you, you're rude.
I wanted to give it a while. I don't know when last week.
Mind you.
Let's marinate first.
I think it's easier with a black female friend than it is probably your black female romantic partner.
If it's a new partner, maybe.
If it's a new partner, yeah.
Yeah.
I would save it there.
I'm interested.
No, I would have said, yeah. But I definitely, when I was younger, I struggled definitely to talk to women on that side, just because, yeah, like was being brought up earlier with just the whole thing of, you feel like there's a level of judgment, like maybe subconsciously, not saying it's a conscious one, but subconsciously you feel like there's a level of judgment there that comes with being sort of open about your feelings. So it's just like, yeah, so it wasn't something I felt like I could do, but sort of. Again, over time, again, with my missus, over time, sort of through years of up and down, she sort of, I think eventually we'd gone through so much, through the trenches so much, I think I just sort of was like, if I can't be open, if I can't be vulnerable to her and I can't open up to her, who can I be open, who can I be vulnerable to? If, you know what I mean? Like, this is somebody who I want, apparently I want this person for, the rest of my life. So if I want the person the rest of my life, I've got to be able to, speak when I feel something and, whatnot, and, be able to feel like I can have a conversation with her. Obviously not, there's still context, still sometimes I'm not going to be like every time I'm sad, hey, let me just tell you I'm sad right now, like, but it's a thing of, but if I was really struggling, I know, I can be like, hey, you got a minute, and just be able to just go off and say whatever, and vice versa. I know vice versa is the same with her and me. Just like, yeah, I think that's important. But like I said, that still took a long time. And then Brother Saleh, let's go.
So, what the specific question is? A black therapist or
a black woman?
As a black one, do you think it's hard for you to open up to a black woman?
Definitely not. No, I don't think that at all.
It's just in theory, innit?
I'm done.
You ain't got room, right?
I'm done.
He's like, why not?
I don't really even get the question. Because,
I don't.
because why would you not feel
No,
open?
I get what he's saying.
Yeah, like
Because he don't see colour, so it's not gonna get. He's not.
Yeah,
he's not
no,
gonna associate.
and especially if
Some
that's your
black men
friend.
don't find it easy to talk to a black woman, open up to black women,
But they would to a white woman.
because it's not a black woman.
Okay.
So is it that they don't find it? So is it the black woman's fault, or is it them feeling they're shy for themselves? So you don't want to tell this black woman things that.
Could be a mixture of.
Isn't it
So you know that the
It's
other person
mixed,
doesn't
yeah. It's a
know,
mix.
because the other person might not know cultural things. So it's easy for your foolishness to pass over there.
Oh, it's the
But you don't want.
foolishness.
Well, because what are you sharing over there? You can't share here. If it's not that, they're gonna be shy for you here, which is why they want to share it here.
The funny thing to me, I don't view it as I hate that it's been attached to a black woman thing, because to me, sorry to say, I kind of feel like it's a woman thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's I feel like I don't want to. I'm not trying to speak for men, but from what I've heard, I feel like there's this whole thing of, they can't fully go there or whatever because the woman will use it against them
Yeah.
at a certain point, or it will
In a
use
relationship.
in a
scenario.
relationship scenario. That's what. That's
So,
what
are we not
about.
talking about like
No.
friend or?
Well,
I was
I don't know
really-
what Brent.
I don't know
I
what-
said I think it's easier for black belt men to open up to their female friend than it would be for their
Yeah.
long
Yeah,
term
you said
relationship female partner. Then Brent said, "Do you think black women or black men find it harder to open up to black women?" And then Christy's saying she doesn't think it's a race thing; it's just women in general because it might come back to bite, basically. But I guess in a romantic,
I
setting,
guess I'm
yeah.
more talking in a romantic setting
Yeah.
because that's where I've heard it more.
That's why I've heard that.
I've
as well.
heard that more. That reason.
That yeah.
Oh, like you can't because they'll end up using it, or
Against
they
you and
end up
stuff.
against you, or they'll use it as a weakness and that kind of stuff. So I personally think it generally can be a woman thing than a black woman specific thing. But
And that's why I think therapy is important, because if you are in that kind of situation and someone's using the things that you shared with them in in your vulnerable state, that is a form of abuse, and you
Yeah,
really should
leave-
run.
If there are women who are doing that, leave them. Sorry,
I was going to say that
This is it.
that
It's so
shouldn't be
toxic.
the case. Like,
it shouldn't be.
That's
you
acceptable.
must
emotional
probably be the wrong
abuse.
person.
And that's wild.
I mean, they generally think. Something I've heard. I'm just saying what I've heard.
Well, I've heard.
From what I've heard, they think that is synonymous with women, though.
Yeah,
Very sad,
Yeah.
it's sad. It is sad because it's like
especially if it's just people. If that's people's experience, that is-
exactly.
Yeah,
and
so
that's what's
sad.
sad about it.
And for me, I it's so mad to me because that's a thing for me. Like if I tell you something and you're now coming to I hold that very
Yeah, it's a serious offense.
that's
to me.
a serious thing for me. So
Yeah.
because that's such a serious thing, that's one of my
that's my deal breaker.
oh
Yeah,
we can't come back
mine
from
as
that.
well.
We can never come back from that.
Yeah, that's like, oh my God, that's a real trigger for me, trigger point. So because I know
Yeah.
that's a real trigger point for me and I know how that feels, I personally wouldn't
Do that to
do
somebody
that.
else.
I won't do that to the
Yeah.
to the guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it will be just one of them. It may sound bad, but like I might as well I just won't. If I'm really want to trying to take it there, I might as well just not say nothing
Yeah.
because I know if I take it there,
You can't come back. I just feel like
You can't
one of the
go
things you
back
can't
from
come
that.
back from. Personally, for
Yeah.
me, we can't come back from that.
yeah. So
Like you're done.
yeah, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I also hate it when like women outside of like the race come and weaponize what it is the black men have told them that previous women won't do, and they dangle it over their head. It's terrible, man. Just I hate it. It's disgusting.
But that's why I feel like with black people sometimes we need to.
What was
Sickening.
Do you want to give us an example? So
Yes,
context?
please.
Did you say Saleh?
No, Brent.
No one said my name.
I saw online like the other day when
He's making it up right now.
He
You
is.
know.
no, I'm not. I saw this woman getting involved in a conversation she wasn't supposed to be getting involved in.
Yes. What was it about again?
And she was just sprinkling the tropes and whatnot.
I
And then
remember it.
people were like, hey.
Yes.
that black man has been
It's happened
whispering
twice.
stand next.
It's actually,
Get out.
It's actually
Get
happened
out.
twice in the last couple of weeks.
which one was this?
Wait, yeah. What's
You're not
What
on
was
X,
it
you're not on
again?
X.
Oh,
You
yeah,
wouldn't
okay,
know
thank
about
we
it.
thank God.
I can't remember what it was.
What was it again?
It was trending and all sorts.
Saleh?
Huh?
I'm
Did
still
it come to you that work?
No, I don't use Twitter.
It still didn't get to you.
No, but I have seen examples. To be fair, I have seen videos where they come forth.
There was
and
one
so
on black
brave.
hair recently as well. There was a girl.
Yeah, the black
talking
hair one.
About black hair.
But there's even
there's another one.
What
was
was
that
she
because of
saying though?
something
Like,
that a black man told her?
yeah,
though?
exactly,
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
I feel like that's just like.
and that's my issue.
Oh, you think it was a black man who told her?
Of
Oh, definitely.
wait. Can
Wait,
someone explain to me what this
What's
is?
the context?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically,
Uh-huh.
I'm just generally speaking,
Mhm.
in general, there have been women of other races, or non-black women,
Mhm.
who may have come out,
Mhm.
spoken about, what black women aren't doing or aren't lack of or whatever. This is, and they say it so confidently, like they are black women when they're not,
Mhm.
as a way to like, be like, oh, that why aren't you doing this?
Okay.
And what it turns out that more time than not, they are dating a black man, and why they feel confidently to say such things
Okay.
when they have no business talking. But
Okay.
again, my problem is with the person back home talking all they're talking.
What have you been saying?
And what have you been saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're not saying all these certain things,
And for them
they
to
wouldn't-
have that
for-
confidence.
that confidence,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't do such things. So
Ghana Greatness has a question about therapy. She says, would people, is that a woman? I think it is. Would people feel offended if their kids come to them saying they want to go to therapy because of how they were raised? Or should we go under the pretense, thank you, that everyone needs therapy? I wouldn't be offended that my child said they want to go to therapy.
No, neither would I.
Yeah, I feel like it's your ego that would. I feel like your ego would make you take offense to that. But I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's possible to be a perfect parent. I think that the things that, say, for example, I want to pick up on how it is that I was raised and I want to improve those things, that might mean that I miss out on other
Something
things.
else, yeah.
And each child as well has very different needs. And when I think about me and my siblings, we're all very different in our personalities, in our character. So each child has different things, and sometimes you can miss things. So I don't think it's necessarily, it can be, but I don't think it's necessarily an indictment on the parent just because the child wants to go to therapy.
yeah,
But I think also you don't have to have the deepest trauma in life to go to therapy. Like you can have a bad day. You can be someone who, you can have a bad day and then it turns into a bad week, and then you want to figure out why is it that when I have a bad day, I just write off the rest of the week. Like it doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be anything crazy deep for you to want to go to therapy. But I do believe that everybody should at least try therapy. I think it's important for everyone to try therapy.
I think in the question they said children going to their parents asking for therapy because of the way they were raised. I think that is a bit tone deaf. So they don't need to add the because of how I was raised. Just say you want
Why
to
do you
go
think
to
I'm going
therapy.
there?
But sure,
No,
anyway.
but when you're speaking to your, like, especially, wait, how did they word it in the question?
Yeah, because of how I was raised.
But like, if you're going to your parent and you want them to pay for therapy lessons and you're saying you did a shit job,
Yeah,
so
obviously
this person needs to come and
Yeah, but obviously if you're young and you need your parents and your parents have to pay for it, then fair. But I don't think. But that's the thing. That is the truth, though.
Yeah.
I'm not going there because I've got nothing else to do my Tuesday afternoons. I'm going there because in certain areas you lacked as a parent. And again, sometimes you have to look in the mirror sometimes. You're not a perfect parent. So you can't go around thinking, no, but that's the reality that you're not a perfect parent. So
No,
you can't go
100%.
around thinking that you're a perfect parent. And you can't, like your child telling you how something you did hurt them, you can't take offense to that where they then feel bad for telling you that something that you've done has hurt them. That's emotional manipulation. I'm not gonna. I shouldn't not be able to tell my mum that what you did has hurt me because she's gonna be in her feelings about it. So if I have to go to therapy and it's because of how you raised me, you gotta take that
suck it
L.
up.
Okay, fair enough. I think I was without context. I was hearing it differently. Like if you're talking about a specific incident or a pattern of behavior that shows up, fair enough. Like I need therapy because I can't. This whatever parent you're speaking to, I need some help. Fair enough. I think I was just thinking, like, imagine your parents just out here trying their best. You've got a relatively peaceful life, but you're just being like, oh, mum or dad, the way you raised me, like, this is the breaking news. The first time to hear it, it seemed a bit blunt and a bit crass, I thought. But I guess
like
because I'm
uncalled
also
for sort of thing.
yes, but I think I'm speaking from a place where I feel like sometimes I'm all about speaking truth. But personally, I'm always trying to make it palatable to the person that I'm speaking to, which is not necessarily where everybody comes from, which is fair enough. Everybody's free to, I'm not going to say people have to, police the way people express their hurt. It's just, I feel like there's a better reception. Think about it beforehand and
I
who
get
you're
you.
delivering it to.
So
But I
then,
think
my question to you is, when you have that conversation with your parents, then when they ask you why, then what would you say?
If they are asking me why,
Yeah.
do you really want a true answer? We can have that conversation. Then we can have that conversation.
Okay.
But some people don't want a real answer. So fair enough.
Because for me, I think I would probably just tell them up front. Because
Some people don't want to know.
No, but if they
that's
ask,
part of the
that's
problem,
fine
though.
if they ask.
That's the thing.
them problem.
Yeah,
I can't lie.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what's the point of me telling somebody something that they have no interest in?
No, but
That's
asked,
not my story.
They've
but
asked
if
you.
if they've asked me, that's different.
No, but
Then
that's
would
what
you
I
rather lie than be bluntly honest with them.
No, it's not about lying. It's a case of, does it serve me? If I'm honest, I'm thinking of myself, because if it's just gonna spiral, if this is someone who I've got issues with, I've got people who ask me questions and I'm like, I'm not answering you because this is none of your business. This is my business. So that's where I'm coming from.
Okay. I get what you mean, but I think when it comes to parenting, because to be fair, well, the average parent does try their hardest, but just because you tried your hardest and you think you gave your child the best childhood, that isn't necessarily the reality.
Yeah.
Because there's some parents who feel like providing a roof, feeding you, you went to school, they saw you through to uni, is that. But then you've got a child who you haven't taught how to, like your child doesn't feel seen, doesn't feel heard by you. Emotionally, that child doesn't feel taken care of by you. So then they would see it as, yeah, but I gave you everything that you needed. And I think with parenting, because there's a lot of, guys now, I've talked about this on TDA, about the whole parents making sacrifices thing. For me, I feel like as a parent, that is your job. You chose to have a child, and having a child means that you're going to alter your life if you want to be a good parent to do that. I don't think that, I feel like, yes, you make sacrifices and whatever else you have to do, but I don't think that your children should be indebted to you because you made sacrifices. They didn't ask to be here. And I think that sometimes with parents, the harsh reality is that, yeah, you did the best you could, but sometimes it is, your best wasn't the best enough. It was the best in your eyes, but it doesn't mean that it isn't for your child. And I don't think that you shouldn't be able to express to your parents that, yes, you did your best. However, there's areas for improvement. Because I think that even letting your parents know that I'm going to therapy because of how I was raised, that starts a conversation. It's like they probably still have those traits. The traits and the character they had when they raised you are probably still present, which affects your relationship with them today. So if I can let you know that I'm going to therapy because of how you raised me, oh, how was it that we raised you? And if you can have a proper conversation about that, that can then mold your relationship to be something that's healthier and where there's more respect kind of moving forward. I believe in telling the truth, but I feel like with humans in general, when something isn't something that you want to hear, it's like we think it's hard hitting and it's uncalled for and stuff. And it's like, no, it's not though. That's my truth, and people are allowed to say their truth regardless of how your feelings are going to be or your ego is going to be affected by that. If you get what I mean. But yeah.
Bye, Ed.
See you later.
Thanks
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for coming.
Have a nice
Being
Christmas.
vulnerable in that.
Nice
Stay
meeting you,
hands.
bro.
Take care.
Take care. Yes.
BOE. That's such a
Yes,
nice
cool.
nickname.
Yeah.
See me over there.
Yes.
Come in, mind your boxes, please.
Just gonna get comfy on the sofa now.
Sally,
Stretch
have
his
you been
legs
to
out.
therapy?
No.
When are you going?
I say, when are you going here?
Wow.
We'll go together.
Why is that? Oh, wow.
Hey, never going then.
Can I just say
Why?
this?
Have you been to?
Yeah.
You've never been to
Brent
He's
therapy.
never going.
Brent
Wait,
is
but-
not. Brent,
Because you're not going.
Yeah, but exactly.
he's not proposing.
So we're in the same boat.
You, Brent.
Brent is not proposing.
Brent, why are you never going to go therapy?
I said I'll go if Dr. Amani therapizes me.
Why is she the only
done.
person?
So that's the only one I trust with my mind.
Is she a
I'm
therapist?
done with you. I'm actually done with you.
I know she's a doctor, but is she like? Does she do therapy?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
believe so, yeah.
So
Can I say though, I do hear what Rachel's saying. I feel like you got to choose peace. So I hear that as well. I believe in choosing peace.
What I'll be sincerely, I think it's each to their own.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's for me. That's why
Yeah.
I'm speaking for me. And for some people, peace means I will not be quiet because inside is chaos right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And for me not to speak up, I have to speak up.
Yeah.
So that's why I was really stressing the for me.
Yeah.
Because that's how I am. My peace is protected by me not entertaining nonsense conversation and people
Absolutely, yeah.
saying stuff. Fortunately, I don't have that situation with my parents. But like if I had a turbulent relationship with my parents, somebody who, say if I was in the family home and I'm asking for them to pay for therapy for me, and I know that the relationship is turbulent, I'm trying to get peace. That's my result. So if it's just like, oh, therapy, there are some things, can't talk to my parents about everything. I would phrase it
Find
a
ways
certain
around
way,
it, yeah.
because if it's going to be if I'm met with a parent who's got such a huge inflamed ego that's going to take offense to that,
It's just no need. I hear you.
it doesn't
Absolutely.
help me. That's all I was coming from. But if you need to speak up, I'm all for people speaking up. Yeah.
This just in. Dr. Mani says, no, I've got something to say. Silence a black woman. Dr. Mani says, I already offered and he declined. I'll send my rates,
Wow.
Brent.
Hey, there we go.
Hallelujah.
There we go.
Don't put it next to it now. Put it back down.
Brent,
So why
what are you
did you
afraid
decline?
of?
Well, this
what
side
are you
of
afraid of?
Christmas? Oh no, there's not much time.
Why did you
I'm
decline?
not afraid of anything. I just think it's a waste of money for me. For me.
Let's unpack that. So, why do you think it's going to be a waste of money?
I just don't see how it's going to help me.
Is that because you're already perfect?
I
He
am
thinks it's perfect.
Yeah.
No. I just don't think I need it.
Interesting.
There's nothing.
Brent, is
there's
that
no-
Do you think you should ask people around you if you need it?
All right.
Rather than coming to the one. I'm just saying, you want to have TDA community service? Here's my community service for the season. Do you think you should ask the people around you whether you need it before you come to the conclusion whether you need it?
So why do people go to therapy?
To improve their mental health, I'm guessing.
What does that mean?
Do you put
Yeah.
themselves?
That's such a
it's not even a mental health.
umbrella response.
I think it's a form of self-improvement. It's a way of working on yourself because no one's perfect. So it's another form of working on yourself and bettering who you are.
100%. And I'm fine with trying it out, but I don't see how it is gonna benefit me.
Have you tried it out?
No, not yet.
Why are you against it though? Because I feel like
I'm
you're
not against it.
against it.
I'm not against it.
But you wouldn't try it.
Dr.
though.
Money sent.
I
her
would.
I feel like you
So why
say.
haven't you tried it?
I feel like you say.
It's a waste of money for me. If it's offered
So
for
how,
free.
so how are you gonna
yeah.
try it? How are you open to trying it? But it's a
Dr.
waste of
Mani,
money.
offer me some free sessions and I'm
No,
there.
she's not giving me free sessions. You
Then I'm
pay,
not there.
you pay a black woman to
Exactly.
do her job. Can you imagine? All that time to do her work. Can you imagine the cheek of it?
It's a waste of money for me.
So then you're never gonna try it then, because you see it as a waste of money.
I have no childhood traumas that I'm not aware of that affects my life.
But like I said, it's not
How'd you
just
know?
for heavy trauma there.
How do you know?
This thing, because I'm aware of my childhood.
Brent is
be
telling
fair,
you.
Maybe it's something in
He's
your
telling you,
subconscious.
yeah,
or
so
something.
self-aware.
Right? Just right at the back.
And then
when
what happens
it's
if it
unlocked-
comes out at a random moment?
It's not happening.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't.
It has to. I need to do that so you understand
No,
how
it
I am
doesn't have
perceiving
to.
it.
So you basically,
that's the
you feel like you want some
Pretty
trauma so
sure.
you can get your money's worth.
Huh? Yes, I need some traumas in order for my money to be well spent. That's how I see it. Tell me something different. Tell me something different.
You're not either way. Whatever it is that's said here, it's not going to make you try it because you think you see it as a waste of money.
try it.
It's a waste of money though, so you're not going to do
pay for
it. No one's going to do. Maybe
Are
actually.
you gonna sponsor me?
No, but I think with therapy though, like it's almost a thing of you need to, if you want to go and do it, it needs to come from you. So if you're not paying for the session, then you're not.
You're
in
gonna
it.
go there. I mean,
100%.
you're gonna waste my
I'll
money.
value it, 100%.
You- no, you're not.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna pay
because
for
you're gonna be
every
sitting there just
session.
smiling.
And answer all the questions.
No, you won't,
Not
man.
that NHS if you don't want to pay
Sounds a
for it.
bit cheap.
You're gonna go there.
Wow.
Wow.
But it's
I want
free.
the best of the best.
How do you not know some of the best?
No, you gotta pay. You gotta pay the price to live the life.
Big up there.
She doesn't want to pay for it.
But you know what? Send us that
Because
capital for
I don't
them.
think I need it. So it's like a waste of money.
I feel like if someone, sorry, babes, I feel like if someone paid for it, you wouldn't take it seriously.
I would definitely.
No, you wouldn't. I would pay for it, and then you would go there talking about UFOs and flipping.
Yeah. That's what he'll do.
Exactly.
That's what he'll do.
I would not.
He'll be smiling with that cheeky
I
little
would-
smile he's
Somebody,
got.
Am I not
if
supposed
I
to
pay
go-
for it, I'm going to ask Dr. Money for notes.
Wait,
I want to know what you spend my money doing in that session.
As many people can have notes. I don't care. Because
I want to know
what
what happened in there.
Intentions.
Sorry?
Am I not supposed to go with intentions?
I feel like you should go with someone you don't know. Actually, I don't think you should.
It's going to go there just
Yeah.
and disturb Dr. Money.
Yeah,
and just
now it's
have her
gonna be
nearly
banter.
quit her job.
He wouldn't be.
No.
No, I don't think you take it seriously with Dr. Martin.
Yeah, I know you would. Of
I
course
actually
he
do
would.
think-
Of course you wouldn't take it
I
seriously.
do-
That's why he wanted to
Somebody
Money.
that you don't know. Yeah.
I do think he would.
I'm not going to take it seriously.
He would work better in a
He would
group
start
session.
deflecting and asking.
Like, with a partner. No, because that's the
Sally,
only
this is a
way.
group session.
No,
Yeah.
but that's the
Look how
only
we
way
do it.
he would willingly go, or not willingly, but like someone could drag him there for him to
I think
find
he'd be
himself.
dragged.
in
If
that
you
We
did
have
have therapy, I think he would be trying to help everybody else apart from himself.
We've
I
had
think
three.
that's the thing that needs to be fixed in me.
No,
I should stop
one
helping people.
of-
no, I'm not professional. I'm just
God,
saying. I'm just saying.
switch off.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We've had therapists in here and I don't think group sessions is not it.
No.
No,
Help, no, please.
group sessions is not it.
No.
The man don't want to do it. He's
Yeah.
not gonna do it. Don't matter if it's a group session, multitude session, individual session. Don't matter. Zoom don't matter.
I am all for finding the best optimized version of myself. All for it. And I do believe I can actually get that even from my relationships.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I do believe that even talking with Esther, I've grown so much. I
That
have
for you.
evolved past where I was, and I can identify that. I can see it. So, me parting with my money to go to Dr. Amani.
Well, when you can speak to me for
not to
free.
take it
You're
serious.
rude.
Dr. Amani's looking at me and she's like,
Can you imagine?
I'm like,
Can you imagine?
I don't know how
I've
much
got
I
friends
get
who
that
listen.
comment.
I'd rather just speak to them.
All right, next question.
Next one.
All right, sorry that
I hear that though.
Ed's
I hear
gone.
what he was saying. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you ain't gone and you're never gonna go.
Yeah, same
No, you
people.
probably
Spider-Man,
needed the
Spider-Man.
most.
You're both in white anyway.
Yeah, they are.
What's next?
Feminism is trying to remove masculinity from society.
Yes.
Depends on definitions, doesn't it?
Yes.
How we defining feminism, so on and
Yes.
so forth.
Oh, can you let her finish her
Oh,
sentence?
sorry.
Damn. Go on. Go on.
Oh,
Yes.
the answer is yes. I definitely think so.
Why?
I
How?
definitely think so. For example, even with the new movies that are released, every new movie that is released today, it's like you rarely see, other than the Marvel films, and even with the Marvel films, like you rarely see, like remember back in the day they used to have like action man figures or characters like similar characters to this. You don't see them anymore.
When's the last time you went to buy a toy? You went to Toys R Us?
What?
Know what you're talking about?
No. Well, I'm talking about the movies, the characters that they have in movies.
Yeah.
They don't have strong men anymore.
Except in Marvel.
Well, Marvel is like one example, and where they kind of do still have them around. But then the next time you're watching a Marvel movie, like I pick up on these things. Even
What
if there
movies
is,
are you watching, please?
well, I don't really watch Marvel movies
Okay.
anyway.
No, but movies in general.
No, like even right now, just scrolling through Netflix, like majority of the movies right now that are being released is like mainly just empowering women, which there's no problem with that. There's no problem with that. But I do definitely
don't know.
believe this.
There's been a shift. Are you saying back in the day there were movies that empowered men?
Yeah.
And what kind of, like, what's an example of a movie?
Well, they had those action man figures.
Like a
When you say-
Superman or something.
Why are you
Superman, Action Man, yeah, all these
Why you keep on
movies.
saying action man?
Cartoon.
Because they still exist. That's why it's difficult
Yeah,
for me to
Yeah,
understand.
they
Yeah.
still exist. But what I'm saying is, like, in those movies where they do exist, what I've noticed is, okay, the character is there, but then they've got like a sidekick who is a woman, and it's like he's just giving stupid suggestions throughout the whole movie, and he needs to constantly be saved by this woman in that movie. It's like men are being made out to be dumb, I think. And I definitely think they're trying to, like, even now, everyone calls everything masculine, toxic masculinity.
But to be fair, there is a difference. I think sometimes there's an issue because when things become buzzwords,
Yeah,
Yes.
I was going to come to say this.
because there's a
Yes.
difference between masculinity and toxic masculinity.
Definitely.
And it's not synonymous.
Yes,
But people tend to maybe make
Yeah.
it seem that way.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
think patriarchy just means
Yeah.
that man is, I guess, the head. It doesn't necessarily, it's not
Yes.
inherently negative.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's just become synonymous with negativity.
Yes.
But I think the reason why it
yes.
crosses over though when it comes to toxic masculinity is because the way a lot of men define masculinity is toxic masculinity. That's why it tends to
that
cross
overlap.
over. Do you get what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So do you feel like so you're saying that there's more for women out there than there is for men now?
In the media, definitely. Or no, there are things for men, but like the things for men that there aren't necessarily masculine.
But then whose responsibility do you think that is to do that though? Because I think the way I'm thinking about this is when, for example, it's International Women's Day, and there are men who complain about when it's International Men's Day, there isn't so much of a noise being made about it. But the reason why noise is being made about International Women's Day is because women have been the ones to ensure that noise is being made about it. So if, for example, there are films that are not empowering men, shouldn't it be the people who don't feel empowered by those films to do that? Because when it was films, the way women were portrayed in film, like now we're seeing more films that are telling women's stories. Like there's one on Netflix that just come out with Kerry Washington,
Yeah,
the
the-
eight
wow.
something,
The six,
eight, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's about these women who existed during, these black women who existed during the war, and their story is not told at all. Even when you think about like even Woman King, like women are the ones who are wanting to tell our stories beyond us being sexualized. So then don't you think, so whose responsibility is it then if there are films that are not empowering men, which I don't think don't exist, but if there aren't, then shouldn't it be men then who are then putting in that work to make sure that you have films that are empowering you?
The movie thing is definitely one small part of it. But like even with, for example, it's quite hard, but the only two examples, I don't really look into this that much, but there's this whole blue pill, red pill thing. Which one is which?
So red pill is the like
The good
misogynistic crazy men. And then pink pill is like the... What did he say?
Blue pill.
red pill is the good one.
I don't know what the blue pill is, to be honest. I don't want that.
I don't know what blue pill. I've
I
heard
always
pink
hear
pill,
red pill,
but I don't know
so.
what blue pill is.
Oh, okay.
But red pill is like Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And what's the one that died? Kevin Samuels.
Okay.
The one that died.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. Let me finish my sentence. The one that made it his living, his life story to tell women they weren't high value enough, but then died under a woman that he publicly would have said was low value. That man, Kevin Samuels. That's what happened to him.
Is that how he hit the
That's
stage?
that's how he met his maker.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But what I would say is, like with this red pill stuff, I think a lot of the people in this red pill space, they are a bit extreme in the way they talk and blah blah blah. Which personally, I see it as a way of marketing to get themselves out there. However, okay, like one, I would say tamer example would be Jordan
Peterson.
Yeah,
I was going to say him.
Jordan Peterson. Even Jordan Peterson is slated for the things that he says when he's saying that men should be strong, men should protect their families and blah blah blah. I fail to understand what the problem is with that.
But that speaks to what I was saying earlier when we were talking about the therapy thing, where when men are raised about, oh, be a man, be strong, and all these things, the only way they then know, like a lot of men who are raised that way don't know how to communicate in a healthy manner. Their form of communication or their form of saying that I don't like this, I'm unhappy with this, is anger. And that's not a right way to communicate. So there's nothing wrong with you wanting to protect your family. A woman in the family also wants to do that. Have you seen what a woman would do when her children and her family's in danger? She's moving the absolute earth. So there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be strong. But I think the issue is that with these kind of messages is that in order for you to feel strong, you must point out that women are weak and you must push the woman down for you to make yourself feel better. And in my opinion, that's not true strength. For me, and that's why people talk about, oh, be a man and a real man. For me, those are not real men. Because real men will understand that, yes, you want to protect your family, yes, you can care about your family, but however, though, this woman that you're with is not just here for a body. She's not just here because she's not just here for the sake of arm candy for you. She's also smart, she's intelligent, she's got strengths. You can learn from her the way she would learn from you. For me, that's a real man. I think that's where, again, when people talk about what masculinity is, it then quickly crosses into toxic masculinity, because it seems as though the only way for you to be masculine is for you to bring a woman down or bring other men that you don't consider masculine down. And that's not, my opinion, that's not true masculinity.
Yeah, and I agree. So with what you said that a lot of men don't necessarily know how to communicate.
I think men are raised that way.
Yeah. And I would say that the issue isn't the fact that they were raised to want to protect and provide. The issue is that they weren't taught how to communicate. So we don't need to take that away. All we need to do is add to that so that they can be better communicators. So like, I do think a lot of this is being like removed from from boys, essentially, boys and men. And I think, I think I think we need more masculinity.
But you know what? I feel like the communication thing is just one example.
Yeah.
I don't think it's healthy to continuously tell men that your sole purpose in life is to be a provider. The amount of pressure that adds on a man mentally, I cannot imagine that. We've talked about tonight how like being the first daughter in an African household and just that pressure there is of, you know, you have to take care of this person, take care of that person. Even Ed talked about, you know, being the man of the house and stuff. That pressure is not healthy, because that's when you then have men who, when they say life happens and you lose your job, but now you feel like you're inadequate and you feel like life is not worth living anymore because you lost your job. But that happens to people where it's a bad economy. That's why you've lost your job or whatever the case might be. But then because of how this thing of you must be a provider, you can't provide and you're not a man, you're da-da-da-da-da, all of that just being hammered into men, it's not healthy. So again, that form of masculinity, I don't think that's healthy. And I think that if we're in a world where we're saying to men, like, yes, I think any adult should be able to provide for themselves. Any adult, that is survival skill. How are you going to live in the world if you can't provide for yourself? There's that. But then also letting men know that, you know what, if for whatever reason you don't have it together and that means that your wife or your partner has it together, there's nothing wrong with while you're trying to figure things out, she's the one who takes the lead in the house. Do you get what I mean? Like, but again, there's men who will see that as you're weak because why is your woman the one paying the bills? Why is it? But that doesn't make sense. And even in the world that we live in today, the way things were done back in the day, where the man was the sole provider, because women weren't allowed to work. But now women can work, and the average family, both people have to work, have to contribute to a household. So having that mindset of, oh, you must be the provider, you must it's not healthy for the society that we live in today.
It's also, I think, a little bit limiting because, like, surely there should be more to
There's
you
more to you
as a human being than just being a provider.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that is a very nice way to look at it. But then at the same time, I do think that men should be providers for their families.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, it's a lot of pressure. However, for example, some things just are pressure. Like, for example, in a pride of lions, they're maximum 2 adult males in a pride at any given time, other than if they've got male children. And their job is they don't do the hunting. It's the females that do the hunting. Their job, that, like, people look at the male lions and think, oh, they're very lazy, blah, blah, blah. No, but they play a role, which is to protect their pride. And that is a lot of pressure, because if another animal is coming now and it's a threat to your pride, that's a lot of pressure. You need to fight. However, like, we could turn around and say, oh, but that's a lot of pressure. They shouldn't play that role, blah, blah, blah. But then what's going to happen?
But I'm not involved in the animal kingdom. I'm
No, but we are animals.
We are not.
But we're not lions.
E-man.
Oh,
Oh no,
we're not lions.
we
But
are.
we are animals.
We is French.
Yeah, but
I'm
all-
not an animal.
There are
We
different
are animals.
animals. There are different
We are
animals.
all God's creation.
So
And
no,
God
God
created
didn't create
animals.
me. God didn't create me as an animal. God created me as a human.
Yeah.
God didn't create me.
A human
God
is an
didn't-
animal.
No, I'm not.
No,
God did not start as God didn't create monkeys, and those monkeys eventually evolved to humans. God created human beings in His likeness.
Yeah.
God is not an animal. I'm in the likeness of God.
I don't-
And God, do you know what I mean? So no, human beings are not animals.
we're all creatures. We're all creations of God. And
Yeah,
we have...
and there are different types of creations.
Yes, of
But
course.
humans
Yeah,
are
of
not
course. No, but
of
we are
the
a type
animal
of
creation.
species. We
Yeah,
are,
but the thing is-
we are a species.
You are. I'm not.
We are part of a species.
We
What's
are
the
not.
point?
We
What's
were
the
getting-
point that's being
I
made?
think
Yeah,
it's
I think
What's the
yourself.
point that's
Yeah.
being made
Confused. He
now?
wants
What's
you
the
to
point?
be an animal. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Hi. I was trying to join when you were talking about therapy, but my phone was acting up. and
Hi,
I
Dr.
couldn't
Mani.
move
How are you,
up.
girl?
Hi, love. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. I feel like we've moved on.
No.
We're
Bring
talking
it
about
back.
animals.
Don't worry,
Bring it
girl.
back.
You bring it back.
No. I've also got something to say about this, so let's just keep it here before I go on to Brent.
I
I'll
wanted you
message
to
Brent
roast Brent.
separately.
What a shame.
Just save it for last.
Just to go on to the animal thing, this conversation about that we're animals. Yeah, let me just give you a quick biology lesson on the brain. Yeah. Because I think that's the thing that, guys that think that we can compare ourselves to animals tend to miss out. yes, we have a primitive part of our brain that is completely emotionally driven, therefore, reproduction, hunger, thirst, etc. But the thing that differentiates us is the top of our brain. It's called a cortex. Yeah. And it's developed to be able to problem solve and think things through and know about social consequences. So the example I normally give to people is if you're vexed at work and you're angry, you're not going to box your boss in the face. Why? Because you can control your emotion in the circumstance and you know that there's a consequence to your actions. So the same way that you're saying, Stella, now that there's pressure being a provider, absolutely, there is. But what I think Esther's saying and what I would say as well is that we want you to have the opportunity to be able to actually manage that in a different way because you have a different part of your brain. That means that you don't need to now succumb to all of the emotional parts that are driving you that can then be a detriment to your family and society at large. And I think that's what people are trying to say. They're trying to say, look, we have the opportunity to have a different way of going about things. Can you be a provider and also be a good sorry, I just saw Black Rob's comment. No, I'm not saying we're not animals. I'm just saying that we are not. I don't think it's comparable in the same way. I'm not saying we're not animals.
Oh wait.
Anyway.
We aren't animals.
Wait, so we are animals,
No,
or
we're
we
not.
we are?
No, I'm saying we are, but it's not comparable
No, we're
to
not
say
animals. This is why
we are.
I can't go and be my
Oh my God.
Don't do that.
Don't you dare.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Your name is Brent. Hers is Dr. Amani. Don't you dare.
Oh god.
Yeah, I think, I'm not saying we're not animals. I'm just saying we are more evolved in a way which means we can operate in a different way. So when you're trying to say, let's compare it to lions or, I don't know, chimps, etc., I'm just saying, let's just add an extra layer of context to the way in which we've evolved and not reduce the argument. That's what that's what I was trying to say. No, I'm just commenting. I'm just looking at the comments, and Black Rob said that I'm not. I do agree that we're animals. I'm just saying there's an extra layer to it, and the conversation is that we can now introduce something new to your experience. Yeah. So opposed to being able to just say, okay, men must carry on and provide. If that's part of the masculine experience, as you're suggesting it, no one is saying that's a problem within itself. It's only when it extends to the point of detrimenting another person and yourself. So if we introduce the fact that you can, communicate with people, you can manage your emotions, etc., and balance it out, I think there's a way for there to be a balance. I do think that we can, overcorrect history, and I do think that's a problem. And I think when there's a misinterpretation of the principles of feminism and also the lack of attention to intersectionality, we become stuck in this vortex of whatever's happening in the internet. There is a nuanced conversation to be had.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Love a brilliant woman.
Yeah.
Well, wait.
Are you questioning the brilliance?
I'd just like to point something out.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So Esther,
If
Dr.
you call me
Amani.
if you call me an animal, I swear to
No.
God.
It's not me. Dr. Amani is saying we're animals.
Yeah, but you can
Make your point.
you can
Make your
believe
point.
that you're an animal or you like, but I don't believe I'm an animal, and so nobody can force me to believe that I'm an animal. I'm not an animal. So if you want to believe that you're an animal and you got the same what's it called? This you can live the way lions and such live. That's fine. That's good for you. I don't believe we're animals. Human beings are not animals.
It's crazy how it is that you look at lions and look to pattern your life based on what
Bro.
Because
Crazy.
why don't you
That's
base
what
off
I
of
mean,
snakes?
Wait.
Why lions?
I didn't even get to finish my point.
Okay.
Whole
Because-
time, by the way, sorry, can I just say it's a contradiction? Because saying that men should be providers of the family, then bringing up lions that are not providers of the family, all they do is protect, is wild. That's a wild verse to go with. Because you're the one who told me, I didn't even know that's what the Lion Kingdom were doing.
Yeah.
That they just stay around and protect. When the women go there out into the wild, it's a lot more to be protected in the wild going to search for food. And the women are the ones going out there. So I don't know how you can, I don't get that link.
Because when I said we were animals, I was still trying to land, but
Okay,
I
land
haven't.
it.
Yeah,
Land it.
haven't got there. Because what I was saying is that, and then another example of an animal is a lion. So like we know how lions act, and we could use snakes, we could use spiders, we could use specific types of spiders, and blah 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 blah. But all of these individual species, they have a specific way in which they act, and they stick to that. They don't just wake up one day and say, you know what, we want to change it like this, or we want to do it like this, like that, like that. Now,
Do they have the capacity? Sorry to interrupt you, I'll let you land. But do they have the capacity, as Dr. Mani was talking about, do they even have the brain capacity to do so?
We would have to.
I think the answer is no, from what Dr. Armani was saying.
We are one species out of hundreds.
But I'm just
we
talking about the
can't
ones
use
that
a
we
blanket
know.
statement.
I'm just talking about lions don't have that part of the brain.
Yeah, no,
Dr.
but
Armani
yeah,
says.
but I'm not. This is what I'm saying. You guys are getting caught up on the whole lions thing. We could say that we could look at the way
You brought it up
snakes.
to compare yourself to them.
We could look at the way snakes act. We could look at the way chimps act. We could look at the way flamingos act. All I'm saying is each animal has a primitive way in which they normally act. And that is the way things are.
And we have evolved, as Dr. Armani said, where we have a part of our brain which allows us to make decisions. And so that's why we can choose to be different. We don't have to.
We can make
if we
decisions.
see something that's serving us, we can change it. If you want to be a provider, that's great. And if you only want to be a provider, if that's your sole role, that's your choice. However, there are some men who, because as we said before, if your definition of masculinity is, very strictly defined, it's going to leave some men outside of that definition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it can become toxic, because not everybody's the same. Not everybody's going to fit the same mold. And I think that's the only reason why it's problematic. If it serves you, that is great. However, if you, for example, that example that Esther was given, you have been a provider your whole time for your family, suddenly you lose your job. You hear of men who, trigger warning, might unalive themselves.
Bro, and their
whole
families,
families. Because I'm no longer a man, my whole reason for being has been destroyed. I'm so embarrassed, the world is crashing down. What can I do? I have to end it all. That clearly is not serving that man. He needed to know that he is more than just a provider. Sometimes you go through hardships, and that's okay.
But that is not taking away from the fact that one of the things that, the way I see it, he should be is a provider. Now,
that's fine. Then we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, one of, and 100%. Like, as a man, I know myself. Like, I'm definitely, like, there's so much more to me. But one of the things that I see as a definite is that I need to be a provider. And like you also said that we have evolved to be able to think. So are you saying in terms of are you saying that we we're monkeys, and is that the sort of evolution that you're talking about?
I was just quoting Dr. Mani.
I guess I find it hard to have these conversations because I think the parameters of need are different. So when I'm talking about these kinds of things, I'm ultimately thinking about the most oppressed, abused, and at best the dismissal of a full human experience, and that goes for men and women. So when I'm thinking about these conversations, I'm thinking about, for you, say, Saleh, now you've acknowledged where you've been able to have, I guess, a conversation with yourself and acknowledge that you're more than just a provider in the traditional sense. That makes me happy. I'm glad for you, yeah? I would like the conversation to be opened up to more people, more men, more women, to be able to see, okay, let's broaden this definition of, say, feminism, femininity, or masculinity, which means that people can have a full human experience, which for me would include being able to experience a range of emotions openly and freely, and feel safe and able to relate to people, but then also means that they're not fearing for their lives. And for men, that might mean that they won't succumb to the mental health pressures that comes with a strict sense of providing, which could lead to them ending their lives. And for women, it means that they won't die at the hands of men. So that's what I'm thinking of when I'm talking about these things. So I find it really difficult when I see, I'm not saying that this is what you guys are doing at all. Yeah. I'm just saying when I see online, when people are talking about more trivial things, we're not talking about the same parameters of needs. I think this is where the confusion is as well.
Yeah.
So, but I said, let's not broaden the definition. I'm just saying, let's introduce the idea. Like you said, okay, provision isn't only financial. I would like the opportunity for most men to be able to see that provision is also emotional or spiritual, etc. So maybe you're saying don't broaden the definition, but that's what I meant when I said broaden the definition, is to be able to give you a full human experience.
But what I don't understand is, it's like, why are we saying that? Like, why are we saying that a man? Okay, are you saying a man shouldn't be a provider, or?
No, I'm saying if that is what is going to be part of our new like common ground of what it is, yeah, and that's how it's going to work in society. If that is what we're going with, yeah, I'm not saying it should or shouldn't. I'm just saying let's open up the opportunity for you to be able to see that as something that isn't just financial. It means that you don't have to think, oh no, I'm not going to be able to open up to my partner, or I'm not going to be able to open up, or I have to keep things in, to the point where, not saying you, but some men, a lot of men, you know, might have extreme mental health difficulties and at worst commit suicide. I'm not saying that doesn't mean I'm just saying let's make it a healthy experience for everybody involved.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think we need to make it a healthy experience for everyone involved, and I think the way that we do that is by doing things like, so still telling men that, okay, your job on this earth is to protect, provide, but then also adding on to that, also teaching them how to deal with their emotions. Because
Absolutely.
like with this whole like topic, the way I see it is that humans, we've been on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years. And now in the past 100 years or so, things are changing drastically. And we're moving towards something that we've never seen before. But now we're all, or not all, but people are claiming to know, like, it's like we're trying to have an iOS update on how humans are doing on this, like how humans are supposed to live on this planet. And that's aided with all the technology and blah, blah, blah. And there is that saying that it says that, tough times create strong men create easy times create soft men.
I've never heard that saying ever in my life.
Okay, but basically when things become very easy, when life becomes very good, like for example, if you've got a nation who life went so perfectly for them that they completely abandoned their army. Now, if they were to get into war, what's going to happen? It's like, because fundamentally they've forgotten how to defend themselves. Like, as humans on this planet, there are certain things, there are certain ways, certain facts of life that we need to stick to, because it's not going to, like we can pretend and say, okay, you know what? Let the guys just start chilling, blah, blah, blah. Don't look after or just think about you and your emotions. But then at the end of the day, I think that will be detrimental for their families.
Can I just say, I find this topic so tedious. So if we're going back to, so Brent, can you put up if we go back to the actual question. What is it? I can't read it, sorry.
Feminism is trying to remove masculinity from society. Do you agree or disagree?
The thing is, it's a weird one for me, because I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm a feminist, because I'm not. I don't proclaim to be. I don't put that label on me. I think the problem is, as Dr. Amani kind of said, I feel like nowadays we're so focused and it's like trendy to say these terms and not actually focus on actual us as people kind of thing. I feel like people are just using it willy-nilly and just saying whatever they feel like is associated with that term, feminism or whatever. Or I feel like it's now become a thing of, if you hear feminism, it's now denouncing men. And then if you hear masculinity, it's now denouncing women. Like, it's like one has to denounce the other.
Yeah.
And I personally, so we're in a constant battle, because when you hear someone say, as soon as you hear someone say, oh, I think, as you're saying, there should be, be masculine and da-da-da-da, automatically it's like, certain people get the back up, like, oh, so we're trying to say there's...
Think extremes.
Yeah. Oh, it's not, so the women are not... like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like we've gotten to that stage where we're talking so much of the extreme and it's just, we're in constant conflict about that, and it's not, me personally, it's not getting us anywhere. So the thing of now, is it feminism? I think the problem is we're in society now where, because it's become such a buzzword and the way people are going about using feminism, it's just muddied the waters for everything else. And the same way with masculinity, the way people are using the word I'm masculine, I'm so this, it's just muddied the waters. So now we're coming to the table. We're not coming to the table with open ears. We're coming to the table with our backs up.
Yeah.
And to me, I find that's the problem. Like, and the way people want to impose their definitions of so-called masculinity as a way to combat what you're saying, and some other women want to impose their feminism and their definitions as the way to combat what the men is saying, and it just shuts down the whole conversation. And to me, that's not productive. So in the terms of the question, I agree that it probably is, but I agree in the sense that the way feminism now is viewed, to me, I feel like it's become counterproductive for me. It's become very, very counterproductive. Yeah, because the conversation now, you can't even have a conversation now, because all of you can hear is, oh no, that's the patriarchy. Oh no, you're pick me. Oh no, they're winning. Oh no, like, do you mean, like, you're being toxic masculinity now, and then on the other side is, oh, you're not even being feminine. Oh, where's your feminine? Now femininity has now been dragged into race, where now all of a sudden black women ain't feminine, and all this kind of stupidness. I just feel like we're just getting to the point where we can't even move forward. So I feel like the problem is people's delusions of grandeur and their self-importance of this whole feminism and blah 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 has made it so nasty that we can't even have a conversation. Because for me personally, I believe there are innately things that men do that, for me, I'm never going to be able to do it. I never will. I don't have the capacity. I'm not made that way, and I accept that fact. And I think there's a use. There's 100% a use. But this is the same way me as a woman and how I'm innately made up of, there is a use for that. Yeah, it works. It works in tandem. I think with the whole protect and provide, I feel like, again, buzzwords now. Where I don't even know where. It's so annoying where that even came from. I don't know where it came from, but that whole protect and provide, yes, it's great. But there are, again, it's been used now as a term of, we're just one-track ponies now, because when you say protect and provide, all the man is hearing is financially. To me, when a man, for me, in my viewing of a man protecting and providing, it's just not financial. There's ways in which a man, for me, protects me as a woman that I can never do. Yeah. When I go out into the world, I can just in terms of their presence, just in terms of the way they think. In certain things, they can actually protect me in a way that I wouldn't. And that has nothing to do with financial. So I think the problem is we've now got this one-track mind of, seeing the men, if they don't protect and provide, and people are only just thinking of financial. And that's why we're getting certain men that feel useless because they can't provide financially. And to me, that's not what a man is. Because if they can't provide financially, you're actually saying now they can't provide financially, they're not men then. If we're only attaching the protect and provide as a financial tool. Protecting me means also protecting me emotionally.
100% agree.
Covering me emotionally. Where certain times where I may lack in, you are there to protect me, where I can't see everything. And to do a whole feminine, there's certain things I may be so tired or whatever, they can catch it where I can't catch it. So but we're not focused on that. That's the thing. We're just focused on such surface level things, to me, where it just muddies the waters for me.
But I would say, okay, when we say the words protect and provide, to you, that means emotionally. It means it's not just financial.
it's a rate. That's what I'm saying. It's a array of things. But
Exactly.
in 2000, well,
Yeah,
2025 now, when you hear, if you go across social media now and say what is protect and provide, what are you gonna come back with? All they're gonna come back with is finances. Oh, I'm strong. Or thingy.
Yeah. Now I would say that doesn't remove from the fact that men should protect and provide. That just means we need to improve the education on what protecting and providing is, if you get where I'm coming from.
I think that's what everyone is trying to say now. Like, I think there needs to be and that's why I said when I think we need to broaden things, but also then it means that people need to reflect on how they've internalized things that are limited to mean that they can't broaden things. So, for example, as Esther was saying earlier, in conversations previously about men maybe being more open to exploring emotions in therapy, some, not all, or men being able to speak up for men's issues and not laugh when men are maybe being a bit more vulnerable. That's something we need to reflect on and be like, actually, no, if we want to broaden this idea of what it is to provide and build on our skills to be able to do so in different ways, including emotionally, we can't do that anymore. That can't run anymore. And it's not something to attack. It's just to say, look, guys, look how this is not working for anyone. It's not working for men if we're thinking about their mental health and suicide rates. It's not working for women if we're thinking about physical health and safety. It's not working on a systematic level. So let's think about how it affects us individually. I think Stacey's comment is really good. And she said about that the accurate statement would be about the current iteration of feminism. And I think that is what it is. It's everything's been misconstrued. I think we're over complicating things. We're using a lot of buzzwords when ultimately, when I'm talking about anyway, I just want the ultimate human experience, safe human experience for men and women. And if we can look at history and how things are going at the moment, even if you might not identify with that individually, we can acknowledge that there are things that are happening that are detrimental. So why don't we think about how we can improve that?
Yeah, I agree with that because that's what I was gonna say as well. What Dr. Mani basically just said. I think when the same way people would think that just the way people define words. So because I study sociology, I study feminism, and because I study feminism, I know that there are different types of feminism. So whenever what people think they're hearing when someone says I'm a feminist, which is, oh my gosh, you don't want men alive, you don't want da. That's radical feminism. I would say I'm a feminist because feminism is the reason why I'm able to sit in this room today, not at home cooking and whatever else belonging in the kitchen, is why I'm able to have a career, is why I'm able to be the woman is why I'm able to drive, is why I'm able to have rights as a woman. So I would definitely say I am a feminist. And what like Dr. Mani just said of wanting the full experience for men and women, because I would say that as well. I don't agree with the extreme feminism, radical feminism that doesn't believe men have any use, that wants us to be in like all women society. I don't align with that. But again, there's different types of feminism, but people don't hear that, because in the same way, if there's men who would hear a woman just say she wants to work and they're like, oh, I saw that feminism crap, just by her saying that she just wants to have a career and work. Do you get what I mean? So people hear very different things. And I do think it's a case of just more understanding things, which is why whenever men tell me about masculinity, like I did with you, I want to know how you define masculinity. I want to know what you think makes a man masculine. And unfortunately, what I find a lot of times is that the things that men think, not obviously not all men, but they think makes a masculine man can easily start swerving into toxic masculinity. Because like Dr. Mani was saying about, okay, this is how men have been raised from time and blah, blah, blah. But then when we look at men's, the quality of life for men, it's not great. When we look at the suicide rates for men, it's not great. When we look at, do you know what I mean? When we look at all these things with how it is that men have been raised, if there's nothing wrong with these things, but these are the results. So how do we find a better balance? And do you know what I mean? How do we resolve these issues without people looking at it as a fight or what's the word I can even use? A fight against being masculine. Do you get what I mean? But I think it's just, I think it's the way people people think about these things, but I do think it's worth having the conversation with people. So if you hear someone say she's a feminist, ask her what her beliefs are and all that stuff. I think that if you're a human being that wants women to work and you want women to have a good quality of life, you want women to be able to walk out and be safe, that aligns with what feminism is. The extreme feminism doesn't want men around, but how they're a small group.
I wouldn't call that feminism.
It is, though, that's how we got here.
Yeah, but like, if we look at the definition of the word feminism, a feminist should be someone who believes in the equality of men and women. Yeah. So someone who is saying, "Oh, like get the men out of here."
Yeah, that's
that's not.
Absolutely. But then when you study what feminism, again, there are different types of feminism.
Oh yeah.
So that is radical feminism.
Yeah.
So
okay.
We can say we don't see that as feminism all we like. However, though, research wise, and people that have studied, that have done they've done the research, whatever, they call that radical feminism. Do you get what I mean?
Like when I said what I said, I see it in the same way. I would say I wouldn't see a terrorist to be a terrorist of any religion to be following that religion.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're not
Yeah.
You're not practicing what they say. Like you can't be going around killing people. You don't have that right. And so like, well, with the whole feminist movement, I'm not quite sure what that is right now, because I feel like I don't know if they've got like a manifesto or whatnot, but every time I hear feminists doing something in the news, which obviously that's most probably not the best place to get information from, but because it's all going to be extreme, but it always sounds crazy. I think personally, I agree with feminism in the sense that I believe that men and women are equal. We're not the same, but we're equal. Yeah. But with the whole feminist movement, I feel like before it was needed, it was very like we needed it because women didn't have the right to vote and blah blah blah. But now at this point, I don't even know what necessarily the cause is.
I mean, femicide defo shouts that we still needed.
Sorry,
femicide lets us know that it's still needed. Like
femicide, so the murdering of women.
No women that have been killed, women not being able to walk out on the streets and without fear of being killed, the abuse of women and all that stuff. So feminism is definitely still needed. And I think radical feminists have always existed. They've always existed. But I think because of the way social media is now and how we hear about the most popular things are always the negative things. So when it does come to that, what we're hearing again, like every other thing, is we're hearing the extremes. But there are, because again, I'm feminist. Yeah. When I'm on here saying a lot of my views, they're feminism, they align with feminism, but I'm not saying go and kill men, or I'm not saying all these what's it called? In extreme, I don't have these extreme views. And I think that there are a lot of women as well who are still fighting. Do you know what I mean? Who are still wanting do you know what I mean? They're fighting the good fight, basically. But it's not extreme stuff. Do you get what I mean? But again, those people are not the ones they're not the ones you see. We see the extreme stuff. And so people would then associate, and I think that's feminism has a bad PR because people associate extreme feminism with feminism as a whole. Yeah. And that's not the reality.
All right. Next question. Women's sexual capital gives them an advantage over men. Do you agree or disagree?
Depends what industry.
Yeah, it depends where you are.
Media.
Wait, well, yeah. What do you mean by depends where you are?
Well, because in not every, I guess, capacity of life does your sexual capital is it going to play a role?
Yeah, your sexuality isn't a currency everywhere. So it doesn't play a role in every area of life.
Yeah.
Give me an example of where you would say it doesn't play.
I don't think it. I wouldn't say it necessarily does in maybe the corporate world. I don't know if it does in the way, I don't know if it would in the way that it would in, say, the media industry, for example.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd find many sexy women at the top in corporate world,
Yeah.
and you don't. It's
Tend to
men
fa-
who are,
yeah.
yeah.
I would
Because if
disagree.
that was, you think it gives them a leverage over men in the corporate world?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
But the stats for the number of female CEOs and female
I'd love
heads
to
are
hear you
low.
land.
Yeah,
love
yeah,
to
no,
hear you
no,
land. So how-
but yeah, like,
Every woman's got a vagina.
yeah, no, but let's say for example, a man has started a company, it's doing very well. He's not going to resign and put a female in his place. But as someone who knows men, I definitely think like the thing is,
Jump on Discord, man.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The one rule.
the thing is, yeah, like most men don't get attention from women. So most men are starving. And
So you say most men don't get
attention
most
from
men
women.
don't get attention from women, even though we're in a society where women carry men on their head.
Huh? Women carry men. on
Women
their head?
really,
do you
men
mean?
are the center of women's lives.
It could
There's
be
a whole
argued though that
dissenter.
there's a selection of men, maybe.
Yeah,
a top
yeah.
selection,
Most
maybe.
men don't get any attention from women. So let's say, for example, a man in a position of power, and now he's seen an attractive girl where, like, he just likes her. That's what sexual capital, I guess. Yeah, I would definitely see how he could try and push for.
Does it happen though?
I definitely think yes.
The stats are not showing that though.
Yeah, I'm surprised you. Where are the stats?
I don't have any stats on this, but
I hear you.
I'm just
Generally
speaking from
when
yeah.
you look at the corporate world,
Mhm.
you think that women who are attractive
Mhm.
have a greater they're progressing more because they're attractive.
I would definitely
men.
say there are a lot more, or there would be, because like I said, I don't know any stats on this, so I could be completely wrong. I'm just saying what I think. I definitely think there are a lot more women that have been hired due to the way they look, as opposed to like the other way around. And for example, I think it would be in roles such as like secretary roles, blah blah blah. So it wouldn't necessarily be, oh, they're at the top of the company, but they've got into the door because of how they look.
Yeah, but-
Definitely, I definitely think that's the case.
Are you
100%.
To say 100%, but are you basing that and the fact that the women are knowingly going into the secretary role and wanting to get the job based on this?
No.
What's
No.
What's the
No.
Sexual capital.
No.
Sexual
Yeah, no.
capital.
I'm
sexual
not saying
capital?
that. I'm not saying that the women are going into the role and trying to use that to get the job. I'm saying a lot of the times when they do get the job, or no, not a lot of the times, but I can easily see that men are doing this basically. Yeah, and I believe that because I know that.
Yeah, but isn't a question?
Yeah, what
I'm
the
so
question, it
confused.
feels like it's kind of.
I feel like the
Wait,
question-
can we put it back
Yeah.
on the screen, please?
Is that possible?
No. Women's sexual capital gives them an advantage. So it's not that they're
Over
using.
men. No, over men.
Yes. Yeah. So if they're competing for something, then yeah. Well, obviously it's a case by case scenario. However, given that most men don't get any attention from women, one thing I'll say, Tracy complimented me the last time I was here.
She does it all the time.
Oh, okay.
She
Well,
does it every single man is here, to be honest.
okay.
Well,
Well,
take from this.
oh wow.
Just take it. Ignore him.
Wow.
Ignore him. Take it. Take
Wow.
it. Take it.
Because
You feel special.
yeah, I felt special, and not just that. But
you are.
when I got that compliment, I've thought about it every single day since it's happened. And that's just the way it is. Men don't really get complimented like that. And
So you don't think you do?
What the heck is going on?
welcome.
Brother, don't welcome me to my show.
I said, don't
For me?
Hey, wait, what's happening here?
We've got a guest caller, guys.
Wow.
Please introduce your name. Please introduce yourself. What's your name?
From his seat as well.
Hey, bro, hey, Saleh, don't let that size fool you. Wait, how come I didn't get the call up though? That's what I want to know.
This is basically like
A trial run.
a trial run for something that we're doing. I will tell you afterwards, but I thought you were actually on vacation already.
Yeah, but I'm a feminist though. You know I would have pulled that for the gallon.
What has that got to do? Oh, because of the question that got put up?
Yes.
Come on, man.
No. That's we have a host of questions.
No, that's crazy. No one didn't even message me. No one from the community didn't even hit me up. This is crazy. These are all Judases. All of you, Judases.
Well, you're here now, and you're sitting next to Dr. Amani right now, as you did on the couch. So it should be.
All
the
right then.
same as
Okay,
normal.
cool. Am I allowed to get involved? So I'm not going to talk because I don't know what's going on. So you don't talk, and then if I want to chip in,
Well,
can I
the
chip in?
question is, Margs. Hold up. Question is: women's sexual capital gives them an advantage over men. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, 100%. Gal are always using their breast and thing to get forward in life.
I don't think it's that's Marg's answer, but I don't think it's women that are using it. I think it's men that see it. But because women, they're not using it, they're just walking around life that they've just got it. But men see it, they like shiny things. So for that reason, that's why it gives them an advantage. But sorry, Margs, I cut you off.
Nah,
No, it's your show now, bro.
it's your show, Killy. Killy, do your thing, man. I'm just gonna listen in and just get in where I fit in it. It's cool.
But yeah, no, I definitely think 100%. And wait, Brent, what do you think about this?
So I think it depends on the industry because we've got some examples here.
Okay.
So the entertainment industry, hospitality and sales, even online when you have the like OnlyFans and stuff, like men just thirst over these beautiful women, and then they get followers and use their followers, leverage their followers to get brand deals and this, and it don't happen like that with men. So I do agree in certain industries. I'm interested to see where you go with the whole corporate thing though, because I do see examples of pretty privilege in play, but it's to their detriment at the end. And I don't know if it is that's something that you're factoring in.
No, it's not something I'm factoring in. And yeah. And I think it's to their detriment at the end. Well, with the corporate, I think corporate is just one example that I didn't necessarily even want to like stick to. That it was just one that I mentioned. But even at the end of the day, okay, I always think about things like this. If I got into a deal, whatever business partnership or whatever it might be, and for 5-10 years I'm making money from it, blah blah blah, and then eventually it crashes and it all goes to shit, then that I've still benefited for a very long time for whatever reason. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, something, just because something doesn't end well doesn't mean that it wasn't good while it lasted.
I think what's interesting is that if you speak to women, and I've heard women who are business owners or are in certain male-dominated fields, and it's their company or whatever the case is, it's interesting what their experiences are not having a man by their side, and it obviously would depend on the society as well. So even though they might fight, because again, even with that as well, it's really to do with women that men find attractive. If a man doesn't find you attractive, there's not one benefit coming out, no matter how many breasts you think you can bring to the table.
How many?
How many? Don't matter. Do you know what I mean? If a man doesn't find you attractive, it's not going to gain any benefits. But even with that, I don't know what that really translates to in terms of getting ahead in life. Because if that was the case, I think women would really be running things.
Yeah.
So when we look at the reason why International Women's Day is a thing, and the reason why companies get called out every single year, is to do with the representation of women within companies and all that kind of stuff. They're not. You might have a lot of women, but they're not at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I mean? So then, how ahead is the sexuality really getting them?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying in terms of that's what I was saying in terms of the corporate thing. That okay, maybe they won't be put at the best positions or whatnot. Or in fact, okay, now I'm even seeing what you're saying, Brent, with the at the end, because. And once again, I'm just saying my thoughts, but I could see how it could easily be the case that a lot of women could enter, for example, a company simply because of the way they looked. But then maybe necessarily they won't necessarily be taken seriously in that role.
And that's the thing. Because even in cases where a woman's accolades and qualifications what got her the role, people would just assume that she slept her way to the top.
Yeah.
But even when I think about, even in the entertainment industry where we think that women are where it gets them ahead, how further ahead does it get them there? Because with a lot of industries, there is that pay disparity. And women constantly talk about these things. So how further ahead is it really getting them? If anything, when it comes to, we hear more about women being taken advantage of sexually than it being a thing that opens doors for them. It's like a trade thing. Like if you think about what's it called? In Hollywood, for example, it's like, okay, sleep with me and I'll give you this role. And that even happens in corporate spaces. Like, okay, sleep with me and then we can promote you. So really, is it really like, do you know what I mean? Are they really getting ahead over men because of their sexuality?
Are we still doing this?
Go on.
I see a study come out the other day that women are out earning men and outperforming men in education. Or what is that all just because they're good looking? That don't make no sense.
And
or they're
it's not.
sleeping their way to the top.
Yeah.
What, in education?
Yeah, in education, women are doing better.
Okay. In education, women are doing better, and in the workplace,
In the
women are starting to out earn men. So I'm saying, are you not saying that's just because they're good looking and thing?
Nah.
No, it's definitely not. Because even from like a HR point of view, if you're pretty, that's not going to get you far, because then you can get performance managed out. So the whole reason why you have a new vacancy is because you want a job to be action. You want duties to be carried out. If someone's pretty and they can't do their job, yeah, they got hired, but they will still be exited out the company at some point because they're not doing their job.
Well, it depends on where you're working, because I've seen it firsthand where someone who shouldn't necessarily have had a job and they even tried to quit, they tried to leave the company and they were promoted. Like, yeah.
But like, were they in the same department as you?
Yeah.
Like, did you have the full
I had better
background
numbers than
behind
them. Yeah. We started at the same time. I knew everything.
I think if anything, maybe in the sex industry, women are doing better.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I don't think anyone's subscribing to OnlyFans to see men's feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that wouldn't be it. Yeah.
All right. Christy, you want to say final words before I ask last question to Saleh?
Because I was trying to look up the definition of sexual capital.
Ooh.
Just to best if I agree or not, but because it's here, just Google just bringing up sexual capital or erotic capital or sexual market value is the social power an individual or group accrues as a result of their sexual attractiveness and social charm.
You've never used your sexual prowess to get ahead? Come on.
I would say it's not
You
even
say, come on.
Wait.
Okay,
Hold on. Because we've just been talking about like in jobs and blah blah blah, but it's not just in that though. Like a benefit could be even like going to a club and getting free drinks. Like,
To be fair, we started off by saying, like, as in, it depends on the situation.
okay, yeah.
Sometimes it definitely, I don't want to pretend like it doesn't, hold weight.
It's paid some bills, child.
Obviously, I think I can't do all the way agree and I can't do all the way disagree.
It depends.
Because in certain aspects, I think there are certain women who definitely lead with their sexual capital,
Absolutely.
knowing full well, and they take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are certain women that, as you said, just existing and then just going about like, if I'm going to apply for a job now, I'm not thinking my social capital's getting the job. Personally, for me, that's not my first thought. My first thought is my damn CV and what experience I've got.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So
Like right now, I'm trying to compare.
What did you
So
say, Brett?
what?
What did you say? No,
you
repeat
did.
it. No,
You
repeat
muttered
it.
something.
Yeah, you mumbled it.
Yeah.
No, he did. He did. I just wanted him to. He didn't say it loud enough. I wanted to be clear.
So nobody heard me?
No.
That is it.
No, say it.
So you did it intentionally.
Mumbled, yes.
No, yeah.
I did what anyway to hear?
What did you mumble? Yeah, but I
I
heard you
even
mumble.
forgot. I even forgot. We've been arguing for so long. I even forgot.
Yeah, I forgot it.
Okay, he hasn't forgotten the thing.
But yeah, so right now, what I'm thinking of is a situation in where there's a attractive man and attractive woman, and they both have the same the same qualities, the same everything. They both got the same grade, same blah blah blah. Now, I definitely think that the woman would have an easier life overall than the man. So, for example, if they both were to go into a coffee shop, obviously, depending on who's at the till, blah, blah, blah. But then the girl said, oh, like she's forgotten her wallet, but she wants a coffee. And the man, like, I'm trying to go over every possible situation. And more times out of 10, I do think the woman will benefit, or she will it will be easier for her to benefit than the man.
You know how you said most men don't get girls and they're starving?
Yeah.
Do you think that's the experience for most women? Or do you think that's
No.
for the exceptional, the ones that society across the board deems as...
I don't think it's the same for... I don't think it's the same for most women, no.
Okay, cool.
But
So you're
because-
talking about like a small minority then?
Of...
Women.
Sorry.
In terms
What do you
of
mean?
if... I was trying to understand which level of attraction you're talking about. Are you talking about like super attractive man and super attractive woman in terms of their day-to-day life? Which one will be easier? Or are you talking about the majority of like an average woman and average man?
If we're going with that, yeah, average woman, average man, definitely the woman.
Okay.
Definitely the woman. 100%. 100%. Like, I think you would have to be a very, very, very attractive man to get the same treatment as an average woman.
Attractive man here, guys. Ask me anything you want to know. ask me anything you want to know. Talk to me.
I mean, my sexual
No.
capital don't get me a seat on the
cool.
damn train. That's for damn sure.
Okay.
Wait,
I'm seeing
sorry.
pregnant women being left to stand, and I'm like, nah, we are in the mud as a society. All of you that want to be masculine, get up then.
But
Anyway.
yeah, no, I wait. Does anyone disagree with what I have said?
Yeah, I
Can't lie.
disagree.
Who's that?
Who disagrees?
Anubis.
Sorry,
Anubis.
Anubis. Okay, talk to me.
Because you know when you say like a woman has an advantage, she doesn't have an advantage. For example, when you use the one of about a woman can go in a nightclub and get a drink for free. Like as a man, I wouldn't see that as some kind of advantage over me as a man because I don't want a free drink. So
Yeah, 'cause
as
it
a
comes with request.
I don't want a free drink. I'm not going to be with a man and he's going to the club thinking, yo, I can get a free drink. Like that's some kind of advantage. You get me? So
I hear you
Yeah.
because of the perception, but if you think about it in terms of the fact that she's not spending money, maybe.
yeah.
So not
Yeah,
necessarily
okay.
like you're getting a free drink.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, spending money for a man is an advantage.
I only see it as an
So
advantage
now-
when it is that there's no requirement
Because
for me to lip sync
because
or
for
kiss
example,
or,
I'm
have
if
sex
I'm in
with
the club
after.
if I go out to the club, let's say for example, I want to get a few girls or whatever it may be. If I spend money, that's gonna make girls gravitate towards me. It's gonna improve my image to people who are seeing me, etc., etc. So
So it's like an investment.
it's not. Yeah, it's not really. It's not.
Where's
It's not an
Mike
advantage.
right now? Where's Moggs right now?
Yeah, I don't see that as an advantage. You get me?
Who's
So
that?
And as for in the workplace, like if you're hiring somebody, yeah, a woman can sleep her way to the top, etc., etc. So can a man. You
And
get me?
not
If there's a woman
like
in the box,
if we're going back to that thing of average looking
yeah,
man
it's more
and
like
average looking girl.
an average looking man and an average looking girl.
Average looking man
Like
ain't sleeping his way to the top.
Because what woman is at the top for him to sleep with, assuming we're talking about heterosexual relationships?
Exactly. So if there's a woman at the top for him to sleep with, of course, the average looking
But
man can
how
sleep his way to the
often
top.
are there women at the top?
That's the thing I'm trying to say. There's hardly any women at the top.
Because average looking man, there's plenty of average looking men, even ugly men, who have no problem getting women. So it depends on the average looking man. You can be average looking all you want. You can be short. There's short geezers that are good at getting women.
Yeah,
So it all depends on that,
there
man.
are exceptions
On
to the rule.
average, yeah, more women sleep their way to the top because on average, there's more men at the top holding positions for women to have to sleep their way to the top.
Nah,
Most women aren't trying to sleep
I
their way to the
disagree.
top anyway. So isn't it mostly men who are in power?
Yes, mostly men are in power. Yes.
All right. So if it's mostly men who are in power, then it's going to be mostly women who are going to try and sleep their way to achieve said power if they're going to be going that route.
Yes. However, you also said that an average man can sleep their way to the top. I think that it, like if we're
where he
looking,
needs to sleep his way to the top and he's got the ability to sleep his way to the top. If I'm an average man and I've got a woman who's my boss, if I'm good with women as an average
if
looking
you're
man,
good with women, like that is
Yeah.
still like we're talking average all around, like just your bog standard person.
so you're
They
average.
don't
So
have
you're
any,
averaging personality, you're averaging everything. You're just an average dude.
yes, and both the same for the man and for the woman. I would
Yes,
definitely.
but here's the thing: an average woman, yeah, if she's an average woman, she's going to be average in personality, etc., etc. And
Yes.
the average woman ain't trying to sleep her way to the top.
What you just started this by
She's
saying
you're
that
saying she's average, just like the average man. Yeah, I'm saying the average man has got the ability to sleep his way to the top. You're saying no, he doesn't because he's average. Well, that would go for the woman as well because she's average.
What's the point that we're making right now? I'm a bit lost.
I don't
The
know what
point
you're
that I'm
saying.
trying to make is basically, yeah, a woman doesn't have advantage over men because of her sexuality. In certain situations, she can. She can do in certain situations, just like how in certain situations, a man's physical ability will make him have advantage over women.
I disagree. I definitely disagree. And I think there's so many instances as to where women are given specific benefits or their needs are put above men. And I think that's just an example. Like, okay,
For example, give me an example.
For example, on boat, if on the Titanic, when the Titanic was sinking, it was women and children. It wasn't men. All the men were left last.
Hold on a minute, Saleh.
Hello.
Saleh.
Hello.
You know this is your big op talking to you.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm not his op. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No. I think she was talking about herself.
Sorry.
Thank you, Saleh. So I want to talk to you. I don't know who are you. Sorry, because I've come in halfway through the conversation.
Anubis.
Oh yeah, Anubis.
Okay. Oh, lovely to talk to you.
Hello.
Okay, so am I echoing in the background, Brent?
No.
I can hear you fine.
Okay. I thought that I could hear myself echoing. Okay, so Anubis, talk to me as a woman. Don't talk to Sally. Talk to me as a woman, right?
Go on.
No, I'm saying to you, talk to me as a woman. So don't pose your questions to Sally. Pose it to me.
Talk to you. No. What I was saying about you, about women not having an advantage over men just because of their sexuality.
It's nothing to do with sexuality. Talk to me as a woman.
She said move to her. Chips her.
Okay.
No, I did not say that. No. Brent, it is Christmas.
Sorry.
And I'm a married woman. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, Anubis,
Yeah.
talk to me.
Yeah. hmm
Let me know, what is your issue with women right now?
My issue with women. Oh, I ain't got issue with women. Not
Yeah,
at all. Are you
I
mad?
think you've
Me, I have an
misinterpreted
issue with
Yeah.
women.
the whole.
Hey, I don't know. You lot shouldn't record at night.
Oh, man.
This is mad.
Yeah, Anubis, what were you saying about women, huh? Talk to her.
And Brent, please, can we move on, please?
Shall I tell you my issue with women?
hmm
Who's this one?
Shall I tell you my issue with
Oh,
women?
okay. Yeah, go on.
No,
Oh,
you had a
Especially
lot
black
of issues
women.
with women. Do you know what? I sat back and I listened, you know.
No. You want to know my issue with black women, especially black women?
Oh, wow.
And I want to hear this because everything that you're going to say to me, go on, go on.
turn up the
Tell me now.
headphones.
I love
Tell
them
me
too
now.
much. I love them too much. That's my
Well
problem.
done, well done.
I
So
got that
you love
problem
Hey,
too,
them
bro.
too much.
listen.
Better get involved.
As a married man, my problem is I love black
Are you
women too
married
much.
in the eyes of the law?
Oh.
Are you married in that Anubis kind of,
That's his
we've
problem
gone
as a...
to,
I've married in the sense of I've been with my
so you're not
woman
married.
for.
You're
Let
not
me
married.
finish.
You're
Let me
not
finish.
married.
Let me
You're not
let me
married.
finish.
You're
Can
not
I
married.
finish?
Are you married in the
This
eyes
might
of
be
the
a
law
problem.
or
He's
not?
talking about black women.
I'm not in the eyes of the law. Yes, I am. If you want to be
Okay.
technical, but let me explain my relationship to you and not the law. In my eyes, yeah, I've been with my woman since I was 18. I'm 35 now.
Come
I've been with her for
on.
that long, and I'm gonna be with her until we both take our last breath. So
Come
whatever
on.
title you want to put on that, I'll accept it.
Okay. So I done all of that too.
Come
And
on.
I'm also married under the eyes of the law.
Eyes of the law, no
I'm
problem.
kind of tired of your comments.
And I'm happy for you with that as well.
You can't be happy for me in terms of trying to pacify me there. I'm telling you, I'm married and I'm
Yeah,
very happy how I'm married. So
and
Anubis,
I'm happy. I'm
what?
happy for you. Like, what
hmm
more? There's nothing else I can say.
hmm
Okay,
All right.
Don't.
So
next question.
let's get back into the room.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
Sorry,
really.
my problem with women. Go on. You were saying I have a problem with women. Go on.
All right.
Lovely.
All right.
All right. So the last just to round up, because we've gone over a little bit. Saleh,
Oh, sorry about that.
that's all
It's
right.
not you.
Saleh,
No,
It's
it's
not
all
you.
good, all good.
Yeah.
can you let everybody know how you managed to levitate at 8'7"?
Oh
Yo,
my
that was
gosh.
mad.
Okay.
I heard you was in here lying.
No, I wasn't lying.
Please tell me,
wasn't
Saleh.
lying.
I want to know
Now,
this.
unfortunately, in fact, it's quite funny because I actually I came across a page of someone he's been doing some telekinesis stuff, and I need to start looking into what he's doing. Guys, please hear me out. Hear me out. Now,
Oh, you found your levitating tribe online?
I need to find out but because obviously I can imagine there's gonna be loads of people out here on the internet just
Levitating.
no taking a piss. I genuinely believe, in fact, it's not even a belief of mine. This is a memory. When I was around 6-7 years old, I was in my living room, and unfortunately, I can't explain to you how it happened. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Just try it.
Therapy. Therapy will help that.
But I was in my living room. There was a sofa like this, and another sofa probably starting there, and probably same length, going that way. Now I jumped from this edge of the sofa in slow motion, as if I was in space, like on the moon, and I was jumping back and forth, and it was
Oh God.
No,
You
wait.
did more than one trip.
Let me explain. So yeah, I was jumping back and forth, and it was all in slow motion. This was in the living room. I was very young. Now I can remember this happening. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to replicate it since.
It's never happened.
Now it happened. I was there.
Also, memories are a fascinating thing. Like the way we remember things can be distorted sometimes.
The brain is amazing at that.
Yeah, and also like in terms of size as a child, the distance that you think that you traveled as well. So you can remember it. It kind of happened, but the way it happened might be different in reality.
Richard is so sweet, you know. Because see how I'm laughing. So lovely. I feel like it was probably like from this arm to this arm.
As a child, that's
back
huge.
and forth.
It was
As a child,
slow
that's
motion.
huge.
It was
You
slow
were
motion.
back and forth.
It was slow motion.
Multiple trips in slow motion. And at no point did any adult walk in saying, what is this boy doing?
No.
There's no witnesses.
If
Do you
my
have
mum,
siblings?
sorry,
Do you have siblings?
yeah.
Okay.
If someone was to have walked into that room, I'm sure I would have dropped. I know what happened.
What do you think happened held you up?
I
and
don't
helped you with
know.
these trips?
However, one thing I'm going to say is now the pyramids. The pyramids in Egypt.
Okay.
The great
You've been
there? No, I haven't been there. I need to go. But the pyramids of Giza. Now, no one knows how these pyramids were made. All these 4,000 years ago, they claim. They say they say that the rocks were excavated 100 miles away from where they were actually built. I do think there are lost technologies on this planet, and we don't know what we don't know. So I can't explain to you something that I haven't unlocked it yet.
What's that got to do with you jumping on your sofa?
Please.
because I am sure, like, from the research that I've been doing, I've whittled it down to, I think it's a frequency. So I think there's a frequency of 441 or something like that, 41 hertz or something, or 444. That I think it's related to a specific frequency. And once you tap into that frequency, then you're able to do certain things. And I'm sure that's how they were able to excavate, cut, and transport these 40-ton bricks, millions of them, millions and millions of these bricks, or of these massive, massive rocks across the desert. I'm sure my flying also has something to do with that.
Question. What kind of women do you come across in your daily life?
I'm screaming. How do we get
What?
there?
You think this is
I
conversation
see
starter?
what you're saying.
You think this has
No,
raised the eyes?
has he been dating witches or something like that?
No. That's not. I'm just curious to know, in your male endeavors, what women do you come across?
Like, I don't know how to answer that question. Females. Like, what do you mean?
I'm just trying to understand. Do they entertain this?
Now,
That's a word. That's a
listen,
valid
I'm
question.
very self-aware.
Are
Now,
you?
yes, in me saying this, I know what it sounds like, and I know it sounds crazy. And if someone was listen, if someone was to be telling me the same thing,
He said, "Do the white things love this bullshit?"
Oh God! No, that's not what
White things like this.
nah. But if someone was to tell me the same thing, I would probably think they were crazy too.
Did you eat anything before you did this?
What, today?
No, the levitating
As a
days.
child.
I can't remember.
Because I think,
Most probably.
but like, was it like a brownie?
Like something sugary.
No, some with weed in it. Because I think that you were I don't believe it happened. And do you know what's so funny about this as well is that when Brent relayed this story to me, he only told me he did it once.
Yeah. Oh no, it happened one time.
Yeah.
but-
So in my mind, it was just one jump.
Oh,
I didn't know you were doing
I was
a back and forth.
I was back and
You
forth.
were just flying back and forth, sorry.
Slow mo.
It was.
It wasn't flying.
It was more like
Walking on
moonwalking.
air.
Like you see how if you were on the moon and like you were to take a jump and like you're just moving in slow motion. That's how it happened.
So
right.
bounce and bounce.
And bounce.
Back and forth.
And bounce.
Back and
Multiple
forth.
times.
And
And
yeah,
further
no.
bounces.
I 100% understand why people are skeptical
You need to get
because
therapy. I'll pay for your first 5 sessions.
I understand why
Saying it.
people are skeptical because you weren't there, and not just that, but it sounds crazy. Now, part of me thinks that it's crazy for me to be sitting here and telling people this. However,
you believe this?
there
You
is
genuinely, yeah,
there is
you
a part of
genuinely
me
believe it.
that believes this. Yes.
As a
Part
kid.
of you.
Well, you're a liar.
Like it happened once and it hasn't happened again. So I need to make it happen again. But I do believe that I was there. I was fine.
Unrelated, just random question.
Yeah.
As a kid, did you lie a lot?
No.
Okay. Because you know, like lies become, if you tell yourself a lie so many times, it becomes a truth.
Yeah, become your
So I
own truth.
wondered whether you lied a lot as a kid.
I was.
Or were you accused of lying as a kid?
No. I was a good child, you know.
I can,
When
no,
I
I
was
can believe that.
levitating.
I can believe that.
When I was
Why do you
levitating.
say that so quickly?
That you was a good child.
Yeah.
You want to be good?
Huh?
Yeah,
Good is good.
you
You don't
seem
want to be good?
lovable.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but like
No, you
the
seem-
way you said it. Okay.
No, it's a good thing to be a good
It's a
child.
good thing.
Yeah.
Are you offended by that?
Oh no, I'm not offended. But like the way she said it, it's like, oh yeah, he was doing this, so yeah, I believe that. But okay, thank you,
Just
you've
the
been brought up
perception
well.
we have of you. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so-
seem like
yeah,
you're brought
yeah,
up
you
well.
do.
thank you very much. But
That's
yeah,
so interesting.
I
It's levitating.
I was I don't know if it's levitating.
What religion did you practice when you were younger?
What
church did you
at
go
this
to?
age? I don't think I was going to church at this point. My father's Muslim, my mum's Christian.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And this happened. This happened.
Allegedly.
Now, but you see, the thing is, we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah, but you don't know what you don't know either.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's funny when you say we weren't there. I don't think you were either.
I was there. I remember this clearly. Well, yeah. I
See,
would say
you're doubting.
80%.
80% is low. For something you're saying you're doing back and forth in the sky. I mean,
No, but my memory is terrible anyway.
Clearly.
This
tell
says
me
a
that.
lot. Yeah, if your memory is
have to
terrible,
tell me that.
now I'm even questioning everything.
Nah.
You said.
I was flying. Same way I got attacked by a
You said I
shark
was
once.
flying. You got attacked by a shark?
Yes,
When?
when I was around 14.
Do you have a scar?
It was at the back of my leg, so I can't find it, but I'm sure it's there.
Did you get bit by the shark?
Yes.
But you can't find the scar.
No, I can't look at the back of my.
When
thigh.
did
But
this
like when you see, but you're in your, like when you are at home, but you know, is it there though?
I was bleeding.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying don't show me now, but like, do you know that is there actual scar there?
I can't, like the other day I was
don't you
actually trying
feel
to
it?
look. Huh?
You don't feel it.
No, this was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I've got a scar here, and I was hurt when I was much younger. I think I was like 9, maybe or 8, and it's still there.
It depends how deep.
So if a
it depends
shark-
how deep.
Yeah,
Depends how
exactly.
deep.
It could have been.
Shark, I don't think a shark is licking you
No,
and just
but
walking
they,
away.
they've got
Baby
big
shark.
sharks, small sharks. It happened.
Yeah, there
That's
are
another
small
story that
sharks.
happened.
Brent, what was your purpose of bringing up this question, please?
Because I didn't believe it when he told me last week.
Sorry.
What's happening in the comments? Are people talking
No, they
about...
believe you. They believe you.
Oh, okay.
You were 14 when you got bit by a shark,
Yeah.
and you believe that there is a mark on your.
I'm not sure. Like the other day I tried to check, but I couldn't see.
I don't understand what that
Use a
means.
camera.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could use a camera.
Have a long
You-
look
yeah.
mirror and
I'm sure you'd be naked with. Was it? Like, what's the name again?
hey, relax.
Tell her
Relax. No.
Svetlana.
What's going on?
She must have been
What
able to
is
see
going
it.
on? What is going
His ex-girlfriend, I think.
Hey, relax.
Not near to Jesus.
Just a random Russian name. Okay.
We're moving crazy.
But anyway, I just wanted to run off with that little snippet. Obviously, him seeing that he has a poor memory now. Just
Yeah.
cast it
I don't even know
Yeah.
why that is.
I don't know why
now
he didn't say
it
it in the
is.
first place. It's because he didn't say that before.
No, but
No.
I
Wait,
didn't say that.
guys. You can have.
Now he's saying my memory is very
You,
poor.
you can have a bad memory but still remember things. That's I've got a bad memory. I still remember things. And one of the things I remember, if right now you were to start flying, you're going to remember it, even if you've got the worst memory in the world.
Well, at 7 though, it's a bit
I was
different.
thinking, yeah, it's
It's
different.
7.
No,
it's
it doesn't
different.
matter.
That's
It
different.
doesn't matter. It was a point in my life that I will never forget.
So, can a therapist, all of those who are just advocating for
No,
therapy,
they can. They can get to the.
they
I promise
unlock-
you, they can.
They could unlock those memories,
yeah, because sometimes
and then you can
yeah.
basically get the frequency.
Because there's things that I forget have ever happened, and then I'm in therapy and I randomly remember.
Doctor?
So I think
She's still on the
that something can be done about that. Tell.
Research.
She said something good.
Research.
No, not research. I'm talking about between you and a therapist. We can get to that.
For us to unlock how we can do it.
No, we can get to the root of the tell you tell.
Wait, did someone call me? I walked away from my phone.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Mani.
We're
Saleh
trying to
said he
unlock
was
memories.
levitating at the age of 7.
Sorry, wait. No,
He was jumping across sofas with a great distance.
Let me explain
But-
it.
yeah, no,
No,
I
the explanation-
think I heard that bit.
Yeah. So I'm saying
So
that
why
I
are you
reckon
calling my name?
therapy could get
Yeah.
to the root of that. Because I don't believe him. But I think therapy can help him unlock that memory for real.
I don't know
if
much
it
about
existed.
therapy, and I don't
I
know
mean,
much about your practices, but I'm
because
sure you're not supposed to be saying, "Yeah, I don't believe you too." That's not the approach.
No, I'm not
therapist
I'm
children
not
have
uses.
qualified
vivid,
yet, so I can
children
say
have
all I
very
want to say.
That's a
vivid
very
Dr. Mani
valid
hasn't
approach,
spoken
isn't
yet.
it?
Dr.
Wait,
Mani
guys,
hasn't spoken.
there's a
You
lot
are
going on.
You're talking about black women.
Dr.
And
Mani
that's
did
so
not say that.
crazy to me.
There's a lot
I
going
mean,
on.
I guess
Sorry, Dr.
children have
Mani.
vivid
Bren is so rude.
children have interesting imaginations. I guess my question would be, why is it a problem if he thinks this? Even though I'm laughing, don't get me wrong. Like I'm laughing, but it's not necessarily a problem that he thinks that he levitated one time.
Yeah,
when
it's
he
not a
was young.
problem.
But man, he's
No,
tried it
the
several
only
times
problem
after.
is that I can't do it again.
This is it.
I'm trying.
Don't
So
try
there's no
again.
problem at all
attempting
that he
it.
thinks he can levitate.
No,
Huh?
I can't currently levitate, but I have levitated in the past. So I don't know. It might have even been like something with tectonic plates, blah blah blah. Where I was, I don't know if it's a me
Sure.
thing, if it's the Earth,
I
if
know you
it's
lying.
whatever it might be. But
What part of the world was you in?
I was in East Barnet.
Don't tell your nieces and nephews is you can have people's kids jumping across sofas trying to levitate.
I
like
think
their Uncle Saleh.
more people need to start looking into this because then
Into what? Your levitation?
Well, levitation in general and making other objects fly, and then because then we'll discover how did they move the rocks
For the pyramids.
Yeah, for the pyramids. 40 tons each of these bricks. Well, 40 tons. They moved 3.2 million of them 100 miles across the desert. And then when you ask historians, they say, "Oh yeah, they wet the sand and then it made it easy for them to drag." Crazy.
Nonsense.
Nah,
Nonsense.
there's a way
So
that
if
these
we
things
can-
happened.
Frequency, bro.
So if we can learn how to, let me just understand this correctly. If we learn how to levitate, we will understand the mystery of the pyramids. Is that?
Well, I think my previous levitation, and the way that they move these rocks, I think it must be linked
Things all
somehow.
linked.
Yeah, it must be linked somehow. I'm not 100% sure how,
That's great.
but it must be linked.
Baby steps now.
I think you need more airtime, maybe with other people. No, it's interesting. His mind is very interesting.
Nah,
Maybe with Terrence Howard's, you like can chop it up.
Terrence Howard, he comes across crazy.
As do you, sir.
I was going to say, how do you think you're coming
What?
across? Yeah.
Respectfully, and that's not me talking
Yeah,
from
it's too
Dr.
late.
Zamani. That was just Zamani talking. That wasn't Dr. Zamani
Respectfully
talking.
Anyway, this is a great place to end it.
And at the end of the day, we don't know what we don't know.
That I can agree with.
Yeah, absolutely. But my thing is that I need that applies to you too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, and I know that 100%.
Okay. So you don't know whether you did do that, which you think you did.
I believe I did.
80%. It's
No,
gone down.
Let's call it 88.
No, we can't. You said 80% is too late. You
Nah,
can't lock in
nah.
another number.
I was rounding down before, but I
From
believe I
88.
did.
You didn't go 90?
I believe I did. Well, maybe 92. Maybe 92, but I was definitely there. And I think once we
I
start,
was there.
once we start unpacking, but because okay, everyone can say that maybe we're not sure. Maybe we might not be sure if Saleh actually flew. However, the question of how they built those pyramids, that still stands, and it's been standing for many, many years, and no one has answered this question with an explanation that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you very much, Esther. Thank you very much, Saleh. Thank you very much, Aisha. Thank you very much, the one off camera.
Off camera.
Thank you, Rachel, who works in beep, 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 beep. Thank you very much, Christy, as per usual. And as I said before, we are going to be holding these community service episodes in the evenings when it is I have free time and when it is those who want to come and do their duty can do it.
Do it.
Next time is probably going to be just before New Year's. I'll let you guys know when. And I expect to have a couple people saying, yes, I want to come down. I would love to see Ebony in the mix. I'd love to see Von in the mix. I don't think Von's
I
ever
said
gonna
one
come
don't
out.
come up these parts.
I don't think he's ever going to come out.
And oh wait, can I let them know what I'd love to see? I would love to see other people sharing their experiences, because for me, it took a very long time for me to work up the courage to start sharing this story of me flying, because thought people will think I'm going. I'm
Anybody
crazy.
else in the community's got levitation experiences?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yes, because I'm sure we're out there.
I
No.
agree.
We're out there. So please,
But I
guys.
think it's connected to occultism and witchcraft.
Mm.
No,
Nah.
as in the people who would be like, yeah, I have stories.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
actually practicing that particular. That what you're saying, I don't think you're connecting it to anything evil.
Yeah, no, I
You were
was
just
innocent.
jumping. You just wanted to get to the other side, and you just thought, whoa.
Yeah. And it was slow motion, like I was in space.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah. I mean, I believe you, bro. I
Listen,
believe
your
you.
story is collected insult for TDA.
Listen,
Can I-
why I've
This is
invited
not.
back.
This is not. On annual leave, you know. This is not TDA. Whatever views are expressed in this community service has nothing to do with the morning show. I don't even know why TDA is even in the title, to be fair.
Wow.
But this has nothing to do with the morning show.
At all. I
Now
want
people
to
trying to take
I
our
want to
brand
see
seriously.
Maggie.
It's crazy.
I want to see Mirad. I want to see Tracy. In fact, I've met Tracy a couple of times before.
Have you?
Yeah. She's on Volts though.
I think I've met Tracy. Have I met Tracy? Yeah, you have. I have.
Tracy.
Yeah. Your Tracy.
My Tracy.
Did you really basically just spend sleepless nights thinking about what she said to you?
That's not what I said.
She said she can relate. She said message her. Tracy says Saleh messaged me. I can relate. So she levitates too.
She said
She's trying to levitate.
She was to levitate.
She said that. She said that you can. You can laugh. What?
You heard
Tracy
that.
said-
You heard what you
Tracy
said.
said you can levitate in her mouth.
Wow.
No,
She's looking
no.
to-
And this is why
She's looking to
For
do
herself.
she's looking to do
This is why
that
it's a morning show.
oxtail. She's
Brain
looking to
cancer
do that
fast.
Don't
oxtail.
after hours.
She's gonna
How did
take
you
it
get
straight
here?
off the bone.
On Jesus'
Tracy's
birthday.
gonna take it straight
No
off
less.
the
It's crazy.
bone.
Thank you very much. See y'all when we see y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much, Captain.
Merry
Thank you very much,
Christmas.
King Killy.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much,
Ebony,
Anubis,
big up Ebony.
Ebony, and who else was on? That was it.
Anubis.
Yes.
See you later.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Pew. How do I end this now? Finish.